Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Case. Big update and new features in the case battles. Updated and convenient interface with new options. Up to 4 users can participate in one battle now. Create and customize your battles, any number and any type of cases. Choose the number of participants and invite your friends with a unique link. Watch the best drop and win everything. Don't miss epic battles on Hellcase.
Our next semi-final is here. It has finally arrived. NRG versus fnatic here for the StarSeries Season 7. And, well, we are well on our way to getting into that grand final tomorrow, best of 5, to figure out who's going to be the champion. But first, we got to barrel through a semi-final. I wouldn't do it alone, so we're going to go ahead and bring in some counterparts of mine. Let's go ahead and get them in here right about now. Do it, fellas. Ah, yeah. So, what I want to ask right off the top, just quick story for you guys. Or from you guys, how did this happen and what's this all about?
I mean, we're in Shanghai, right?
Yes.
And we had a day off because Starladder is nice enough to leave us the hook sometimes. So we go figure that we would see the city, and all of a sudden this nice lady come up and she says to Maniac, what is it she says, Maniac?
Well, she asked us, she can take your picture. It's a beautiful scenery at the Bund, and they put that on a shirt or a sweater. And we figured we would do that as a token of appreciation because we've been having a very good time here in Shanghai. And the idea is anytime we come back, we're gonna take a picture holding that, in that shirt on, and we're gonna create like
it's
a
gonna
shirt
be like the Inception,
Exactly, we're gonna create Inception. This is just step 1.
So the next shirt will actually have you guys wearing that shirt, and then so forth, so on.
That's how it's gonna be.
Oh my!
You're not as dumb as you look, huh?
Thank you so much for that. Well, now that we've got that beautiful story out of the way, we can get down to business, and the business end is this: fnatic taking on NRG, the sole representative here in the finals, or at least, the playoff bracket from the North American side. We're about ready to get things underway, but not before we tell you what to expect, and in fact, where you should be going first and foremost. Perhaps CS.money. That's where you should head right now, one of the official partners of the StarSeries Season 7. You can trade in just 1, 2, 3 clicks, and you can get rid of some unwanted skins. Next victim.
I mean, you can also go to Hellcase, right? And specifically the Hellcase multi-case, and there are some codes that you can use. First one could be SLTV, right? That would be for extra cash, or SLTV 25, that would be for a 25% refill bonus only at Hellcase.
Nice.
Yeah, and I mean, if you like money like I do, you can also head into gg.bet and you can try to win that Skrilla. I'm pretty sure if you use the code STARBET, you can get $50 into your account, and you can try to make that to maybe $1 million like me.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's the hustle. That is the hustle if I've ever heard one. Also, to continue our hustle through the sellout portion of this segment, I'd like to give a shout out to Zowie Gear, Honeymoon Dessert, and DX Racer as well for all making this very much possible.
Sure.
And of course, all the fans at home. Hey guys, hey Twitch chat. Let's get into the nitty gritty here. NRG and fnatic. Both of these teams have shown a little shakiness, but they've also shown a little bit of poise as well. I'm not exactly sure where to pinpoint this one, so perhaps you can kick us off, Maniac.
Well, if we want to start with NRG, right, they've had a tough road making it to the playoff. They've played 5 games, 13 maps, a lot of the 3 maps there. That wasn't easy by any account. I think one of the main factors we've mentioned about NRG is the fact that Cirque is back online. He has been missing for a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ethan and Breezy have been, the beacons pretty much of that lineup for a long time. Now Cirque is back, and suddenly this lineup takes another dimension because they have an offer, as Jacob said very well. Cirque is creating that space for Ethan and Breezy to act on it, And Tarek is pretty much doing his role as a fourth player. Obviously, he's not supposed to be a star, but he's doing very well, also creating space. And I'm surprised to see them here, but at the same time, that's very much deserved.
I would definitely agree. I think NRG right now is a team that is growing on me and growing on the world in general. I think Tarek coming into this lineup, there was a lot of, a lot of uncertainty in terms of how, a lot of question marks in terms of how are you going to use Tarek in this lineup? How is he going to fulfill his potential? We did see him come out in public in MIBR and say that he was not really satisfied with the way they used him. He didn't really feel that he was part of the team, or he was an influential part of the team, so to speak. And coming into this one, I had the same feeling going around it. But as you said, so far in this tournament, he's gotten better and better. NRG have looked stronger and stronger. And the most important factor for NRG coming into the semifinal is, as you mentioned as well, Cirque. He's been hitting his strides once again, one of the best AWP players in the world when he's in shape, and right now it seems like he is.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different dynamics to look at both of these teams. I mean, we can talk about some of the NRG player in Breeze as well. This guy is making it look easy peasy. In some regards, at least. In overtime, of course, dropping 50 frags. All of that happened. But nonetheless, this guy does pack a punch in the server.
Definitely an extremely valuable player, I think, who has blossomed under that NRG flag at the beginning of that lineup. I don't think he was anywhere close to the level that he's at now. So that's a very good sign. I think the same goes for Ethan, right? Both these players have evolved under that NRG banner, which is some sort of result, some sort of testament that they are doing something right. If a player is evolving under your tag, that's obviously a good sign. But another very important point for NRG is that they play 7 maps. They're probably the only team, or almost the only team in this tournament that plays 7 maps and have a rotating veto and rotating picks. So they are, I think, very hard to predict in terms of the veto.
Well, we do have a little bit of a head-to-head comparison here, and of course, these maps are a little bit indicative to where these two teams stand against each other. Now, we talked a little bit about the NRG side, and so it's only fair to kind of summarize that of fnatic from a big picture look in before we get them on the stage.
Yeah, because it's been a little bit disappointing from fnatic so far this year, I would say. They came into the major doing all right, They also were part of the WESG tournament where they didn't do too well. I mean, yeah, that's the thing, right? It wasn't really well performing. Fnatic is a lineup that I think a lot of us expect more from. I think just the dynasty of the name Fnatic.
The namesake, yeah.
Yeah, right. It's a team you expect to be part of the top scene, but they haven't been as of lately. So the fact that they're coming into this tournament and all of a sudden seem to find their shape is a good thing for them. I think Twist was publicly saying in an interview that he didn't feel he was used properly in this lineup. He didn't feel he was utilized on the T side of Fnatic. And all of a sudden you see them coming into this tournament, putting him in new different positions, and he's blooming up as a player. He's starting to play well. And I think that's exactly what Fnatic needed coming into this one.
I mean, we've even heard reports that they might be looking for some sort of mental coach over there to kind of help guide and steer this ship in the right way. And those things can be very important, but it has to take the right group of people for that to be applicable, for it to be used in the right capacity. Now, we're dealing with legends in this team. We're dealing with players that have been around the block, that have seen it all. And I guess I would be very curious to see how that approach works.
Well, the thing is, as you said, first of all, for a team to benefit from like a professional, like say a sports psychologist, a consultant or whatever, that needs to be a connection where both sides actually agree, look in the right direction and respect each other. That's the only way that can work, and no one can really come with a magic formula and say, listen boys, this is what we're going to do. The team need to approve and engage in that. The other side of it is that, as you said, these are veteran players. We named Creams, JW, Exist as well. That they've won majors, right?
Yeah.
So I think it is pretty hard, not impossible, but hard to accept the fact that, I'm not at the top anymore. Maybe there's something I'm doing wrong. There's something I don't see. Someone else can maybe help me, and be open to criticism and new ideas.
And I think all they need to is look towards NIP, right? Because they've made the same mistake. Players that have won it all, players that used to be the best in the world, but they have not involved. Get right, as we talked a lot about, he's still a very hard worker, but he's working hard in the right way. Is he adapting to the modern day of Counter-Strike? I think it's the same thing for Fnatic right now. They need to realize that they're not on top anymore. They need to realize that they have to play the modern time of Counter-Strike, which is a more strat-based Counter-Strike type, right? You have to have a foundation, you have to have team play on your team, whereas Fnatic back in the days, they were very known for just running around and shooting headshots.
Right, now I don't want to say the words, but I'm going to, regardless.
Do it.
So, teaching an old dog new tricks.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, these are very skilled dogs at that. I mean, these are bloodhounds. These are ones that you'd put on the trail to catch that game. But in this regard, can it be done? That is going to be the real question. And guys, I would love to talk to you more about this, but obviously there are some things that have to be settled. There are some elements to this entire broadcast that have to happen, and you wouldn't want it any other way. So ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for those taken to the stage right now in fnatic and NRG.
Please, welcome on stage, NRG Esports. Please, welcome on stage, fnatic.
Exist, Crims, JW, Twist, Brolin on the side of Fnatic, and then of course on NRG, Breeze, Dap, Cirque, Ethan, and Mr. Tarek. Now, his mentality here is an interesting one, right? Because he's coming to an established lineup, and he's had to reassert himself and sort of maybe in some ways even rebuild himself.
He's already done it once, though, in MIBR, and that's where it gets really interesting, because as said, he wasn't happy with how things worked in MIBR. That's what initially led me to think that somebody gonna have to give up a little bit of space in order to accommodate Tarek. But what I've seen so far is that Cirque is flying on all cylinders, Breezy is going fired up, same for Breeze for that matter as well, and Tarek is actually delivering in the role that he's been given right now. So I still think it's a work in progress, and I still think Tarek has to evolve into something he hasn't been before, and that's a more like a utilized player in a way where you gotta take the spots you're given and just do the best you can in those situations.
So it's like an identity thing. They're just still trying to figure out how they want to comb their hair.
Still early, right?
Yeah, it's definitely still early. And it's early enough for us to go ahead and start talking about some of the focus of this matchup. Now, Maniac, as a mathematician and a scholar, I don't know that many people know this, but you actually have a degree in psychology.
That is true.
Which is wild for me to think about. But nonetheless, tell me something that you've got here on the cards.
Well, we were talking about maps before, and I think that's going to be the name of the game in that series. NRG have the superb luxury that not many teams have, is to decide what map they want to remove first. They've had, if I'm not mistaken, 4 different vetoes during that event. They've removed Nuke as a first map, or Mirage, or Cache, for those 2. So if you're Fnatic and you go into that best of 3, it's hard to know what they're going to remove. Obviously, that makes it more hard to predict. On the side of Fnatic, they will be somewhat forced to remove Train. They've removed it 3 times, and NRG are definitely capable on Train. They showed it. They won 16-0 against North during that tournament.
Ouch.
So in that sense, I would give NRG some kind of an edge when it comes to the map veto.
Well, in terms of the veto, Jacob, I should say. Jake, you ever call
Jay,
Jake?
try that, Jay. I mean, fine.
It's
kind of cool, isn't it?
Jacob.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got some cool, resounding sound to it. But I want to ask you if you agree. I mean, do you feel like it's going to come down to the map veto and surely that?
Not only, right, but map veto always plays a big factor, especially in a matchup where you have a team that plays all 7 maps. It's so rare to see today a team can do that. I mean, it has its downsides as well, because I also do feel that NRG don't really have that go-to map where you know they're going to win every single time. They're not known to be, train experts or overpass experts, but they're definitely very sound on those maps. Whereas if you have a 6-map map pool, you often have like 1 or 2 go-to maps you always feel confident that you can win against anyone at. So it has its ups, it has its downs, but it's a very interesting, aspect coming into this one where you're facing Fnatic right now who, as of recent times, have been switching around in their own map pool, don't really figure out, what they're good at, what they're bad at, and then you face a team who play all 7 maps, where's that going to leave you in a potential veto?
I mean, it kind of leaves you just enough room to hurt yourself.
Exactly.
Right? Which is a terrible concept to even really think about, because you're given just enough bait, I guess, for the other team to leave in your path for you to take. Now, do you take it? That's the real question. We'll take a look at the teams, but the vetoes, yes, pertinent process. Showing up as individuals, also very important. And I guess for you guys, I want to ask some underperformers that you think need to step up sort of within this moment, within this tournament so far.
I mean, there's no secret for me that Daps as an individual is not contributing enough on the server. So I'm going to say this. I don't know what he brings as an in-game leader. I don't have that kind of information. I'm not on TeamSpeak. I'm not part of the team. So probably he pulls his way, helps the team a lot. When it comes to the fragging department, he's missing. Quite literally. I mean, when in terms of statistic, he's miles behind his teammates, right? But what is really nice about NRG is that Ethan, Breeze, and Sir, they pretty much solidify that team. Like the Triangle of Doom, they have very good ratio, very good rating and entry. So that's a security for them.
Would you say that Daps might be one of the anomalies that still exist in CSGO, like we were talking about before, as an in-game leader and not necessarily known for his frag ability?
Yeah, because when you see in the modern days of Counter-Strike right now is that you would like to have an in-game leader that also can frag. ENCE have Alexi B, right? A fragger that always goes out and leads by example. Zeus is a bad example, right? He's part of that old generation. Then you have a Glaive, who's this new modern generation. Again, you know, a fragger, but also the in-game leader. There's many guys like that. Nico, for an example, in FaZe. Not really sure whether that's working out or not, but he's also a hardcore fragger, to say the least. So it is part of that modern day of Counter-Strike. You would like all 5 players on the server to be able to frag. Now, the good thing for Daps is he has a counterpart in fnatic, and I think it's relatively easy to locate who that is.
Okay, and yeah, I can understand.
I don't even have to say, right?
We'll look around on the map and see if we can look at what you're pinpointing. Now, we did just see Crims on your screen. Interesting to note that he is one of the top-rated players in the tournament thus far, sitting at a number 4 per HLTV.org with a 1.26 rating over 10 maps. Crims is back.
Did he ever go?
Yeah,
Did he ever leave? That is what's so impressive about Crims. I mean, no matter how harsh times were for Fnatic at times, he always was here. He was always doing his job. I think it's fair to say he came back to his best level or close to that at the moment. He's probably one of the best anchor there is, at least in terms of frag. Extremely impressive, as you say, top 5 in the ratings.
Yeah.
Crims is a beast, but there's no way around. It's very simple to synthesis.
And he does it in such a cool fashion. He's not that flamboyant player, right? He's not hitting the aces, hitting the sick flicks. He's just doing his job properly, and he's doing it over and over again. Now, one thing I will say about this Fnatic lineup is that I feel they found a nice combination of experience and young guys, right? You bring in Trist, a guy with a lot of talent. You see him on the screen right here, currently holding a KD of 1.01. Not something you would say is impressive for this kid. I think he's one of the most talented players in terms of raw individual skill. You can sometimes, I would argue, you can compare him to a guy like Scream, for example, right? A guy that has a lot of individual skill but doesn't always translate that into the server when he's on a team.
Or even team play.
Or even team play for that matter as well. But the same goes on for Trist, a guy that has so much individual raw skill, but when it comes to deliver it on the server, it's not always going his way. And that's a problem for Fnatic, right? Because that's the X factor right there. Trist playing well, then all of a sudden you have a team that is very scary to face.
Well, you talk about the old guard, young guard, the new guys on the block, and Brolin being one of those new players.
He's pretty young.
Very, very young. In fact, I think he might be one of the youngest within the pro circuit, if not the youngest.
Yeah, very likely. He's, 16 probably, around the age of Sergey. I might be wrong there. Definitely a player that many people look to in the Swedish scene as the next big thing, the possible next player. He took time, I think, to blossom in that Fnatic lineup. This event, I think he found his groove, literally, as playing really well. And that's a good sign, because when you pick up a new player like that, you kind of bank on the fact that he's going to evolve and become one of these players. So good for Fnatic, he did.
Good for Fnatic, and could be good for NRG. The news is in, and it's rolling along. Fresh off the presses is the map. Vito, guys, where are we going?
No surprises there. I feel Train is definitely the permaban ban for Fnatic, and Mirage being the permaban for NRG makes sense, considering how good Fnatic are on Mirage. And then you have Cash and Overpass. Interesting picks.
I guess Overpass on the side of NRG makes sense because they've played against Vitality. I think they've made all the mistakes they ever could do. They won that map very sloppily, if I can say it like that. So obviously they're going to go with a different approach. Now, we were talking about Vito and how NRG might have an edge. This Mirage ban from them, that is the pinnacle of it. Because Mirage is not the map that NRG is forced to ban. They just remove it because Fnatic has 100% win rate on LAN. So that's the luxury they have. They can remove Fnatic's best map. Now, Dust2 as a third. Pretty open. I think if you're a Fnatic right now, you're pretty happy to get Dust2 as the last map.
And I think this is where NRG's map pool has involved. I mean, playing Cash and being able to go into a matchup in a best of 3 and be able to play Cash against a team like Fnatic, that's a luxury. Because we normally saw NRG as being a not so great playing team on Cash, but we did see them beat Big at this tournament 16-4. So it seems like the map pool, together with Tarek, has sort of involved for this NRG lineup,
Right.
and that is a very strong asset to have going up against Fnatic.
Now, I would say something along the lines of, wow, this could very well be the last time we see Cash, this, that, and the other. But the reality is we have a best of 5 tomorrow.
Yes.
So there's a very, very high likelihood that that gets played again. Nonetheless, this being a semifinal, both these teams really kind of want to go with where they feel at home, and Cash is going to be just that. It's going to be a knife round to determine sides, Maniac. Is there a clear-cut favorite in that?
Not really in the knife round. There is this tactic when you're CT, when you actually go as fast as you can and you don't let the T out of the middle. That's one way you can do it, so you have like a concave on them. But I just wanted to say I'm a bit sad to see Cash go. We've had so many games on it. It's part of the history. A bit sentimental here and there. Obviously, we got to be open and welcome Vertigo in that map pool, but I would miss you, Cash.
You're such a knife nerd, aren't you? I mean,
I am a sentimental.
I don't think we ever had any knife tactics in my team.
Well, that's
You're
because
very fast. You can get them before they go out.
You guys haven't watched the 300 very much. Where they make a phalanx and they just charge forward, you know. But NRG winning the knife round, I can suspect that they're going to go CT side. That would make the most sense, especially given the parameters of the first match of the day. You've actually kind of just been sitting around watching CS go, and well, I guess with CT on the cards, anything we should look for?
Yeah, I would keep an eye on this guy you see on the screen right here, Exist, right? He gets a lot of flack for not playing well enough right now. I think he has been in a bad period. He used to be a decent in-game leader. He used to be a fragger as well as an in-game leader, but he kind of went away from that simply because he lost some of that edge as a player. One thing I will say that you got to give credit to him for is the fact that he's embracing this whole project, right? He's coming into Fnatic, and I think he's trying to build up this new generation to take over whenever he's done playing. So one thing he does well, I will say, is accommodating guys like Twist, Brolin, and JW, making sure they thrive within the lineup. And if that takes a hit on your own stats, then fair enough, as long as you win.
Yeah, and I don't think that that's a story that gets published or really put out there very often.
He's a very quiet guy as well.
Yeah, I mean, not just for Richard himself or Exist, but perhaps the direction of Swedish Counter-Strike, having known that they have a legacy over the course of the past over a decade now. Where does it go? Like, how does it steer along, right? So good on him for having picked up the reins in some way, but is it going to be enough to get Fnatic into a final today?
It's really hard to say. I'm going to be looking at, and a possibility that we really didn't discuss here is the double up setup. The double AWP with Twist and JW. I haven't seen Fnatic use it that much, but that's a luxury, right? If JW and Twist at the same time show up, you end up with a very strong double up setup, and Cash for that is a pretty good map. It's been famous, playing 1-3-1 with both ops on the side of the maps. So I want to look at that, because I don't think there is a counterpart on the side of NRG, right? It's Zerk, and then who's going to go up against?
Tarek is pretty handy with an AWP.
Tarek can pick up the AWP, but it's not going to be the reliability, I would think, of a Zerk or a JW or therein, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it could go on that list forever. But you're right, holding these ops in the extremities of the map could just very well be enough to keep NRG there. 3, 2, 1, who do you got?
NRG.
Ooh, a house divided. I do like that. And just like the house I'm going to be sending it down to, the commentators, they're not so much divided, but there's one that definitely isn't looking like the other. Let's go down to Sada Kiss and Sponge.
Boys, those are some beauty sweaters, Chad.
Wow, I see that there's a bit of a new trio in town. You guys should do a TriCast.
Yeah.
Do you have like a
Forget
name?
THC.GG. We're
You gotta.
LMM.
What does it mean?
.GG. Whatever you want it to mean.
Well, it could be like LMNOP because you.
I usually forget to be.
Anyway, you're looking stylish as ever,
Thank
Matthew.
you. These glasses were $15 Canadian. That's like the best buy of my life.
That's a pretty good bargain. They do have some good bargains here. I hope you didn't pay too much for that sweater, though. So,
well, because Jacob's face is on it, I didn't.
Surprise.
Otherwise, it would have been a little more expensive.
Yeah, you guys are very boy bandish there. Going into this matchup, I think there's only a few things that really matter, and that is that it is a rematch from the Swiss stage where these teams went toe-to-toe. It was a 2-0 in the favor of Fnatic. Both games were close. It was an overtime on the second and on the first occasion, which is where we are once more. It was a 16-13, so the smallest of details here. It is going to be a B main smoke from Fnatic here to abscond the vision. Coming on through Zerk. He has a player over towards Checkers as well. This is going to be a relatively quick hit. There'll be a Molotov towards the site, the smoke towards City Spawn, and flashes to help them aggress.
Zerk backside. ESP in hands. Back from the box. It's Tarek to step out. Unfortunately for Breezy, the flash Molotov combo. He's limited inside of the site. He'll get taken down, but Tarek finds another before he falls. So that means it's just Crimson Exist to try and take over B. I agree with Mathieu. I will miss Cash. One of the last times that I see it.
It won't be going for long, don't you worry. Maybe 2 major cycles and we'll have it back over here before we know it, but right now...
I hope they bring it back with the graffiti.
Well, it didn't happen on Dust 2, so I don't think it's going to happen again here, but it is a 2-on-3 situation. The bomb is down, there's 56 seconds left.
If you're going to immortalize a play, carry that over to the next iteration. That would be my wish.
We'll talk to FM Pone about it, as Ethan has something to say to Crims here. Sits him down, says hello.
Wow, good shot back. Bomb still sits underneath Heaven. He has to get that far. Knows where the shot is available to him. He's stuck, but jumps down. Smart play. Surprisingly, didn't take much damage from that. Exist missed a number of shots. Leaves him with 70, and Cirque is still in the backside of the site at headshot, which means... Oh! I was going to say they can pinch on this if he gets a second headshot. That was winnable. But Daps gets the final damage, the final nail in the coffin. Very cliche for you, and it's 1-0 for NRG.
Life's about cliches.
Which is actually pronounced energy.
No Remorse Gaming is what their name stands for.
Really?
No, I just made that up.
Oh, okay.
I want to clear something up. I made a tweet the other day about Breezy, and I said Breezy has been a bit quieter compared to the regular level he has set throughout 2018, at least via my eye test. Will be interesting to see if it's a symptom of the roster change, or maybe he has had a slower start on them. Get an indicator of that today, and then he went on to absolutely beast against Vitality. Now, that tweet wasn't saying he was playing bad at all. I was merely pointing out the fact that we normally see him and Ethan putting up massive hauls, and now that Tarek's come in, the supportive element of Fugly has left, so I wasn't sure if the movement of positions would actually impact him on the scoreboard. But you went into that game right there on Overpass against Vitality. He had a 1.511 rating, 52 kills to his name. He went huge.
Yeah.
So it was the indicator, and guess what? Hasn't dropped off at all. So right here with just these pistols, you wouldn't expect too much to get done. Exist is the only one to invest on into this round. NRG don't have too much to worry about with these Glocks. Ethan has the MP9, so if he gets overwhelmed through front sight, should be able to spam him down. Molotov to hold off towards the forklift position, and here you go. Now he's going to mark the kills. 1,200. Breezy will come on in, grab that last one.
It's 2-0 as a result for Energy. AK's already brought out for Fnatic. I don't know which way to lean in this series.
Fnatic have had much better form, haven't they, in this tournament than WSG and the Major combined. Maybe the pressure, we already talked about this, of them, you know, being ranked the #1 team in that challenger stage.
And then coming up shy, no one's really looking at them anymore.
Yeah, and maybe that expectation was put on themselves as well. If everybody else believes, you know, you hear teams, obviously, they talk about practice as one of the very few indicators that they have of how everybody else performs, and that's kind of what you have to see it off of when you had the IEM system. So
that's true, and I think the flaw in that system was the distance between events.
100%.
Because we came off the Christmas break, and I think it's a great system, but we were kind of shooting in the dark on a few teams that we hadn't seen in a while.
Yeah, if we used it right now, or maybe even like IEM Sydney would be an example of a well-timed event once the season's live, it would be fantastic. But there's an XP on towards B again, similar to Pistol, but more utility this time.
Fine from Broland, sneaks in behind Tarek.
Cirque has to go on this.
Cirque does it. Gets, I was going to say gets away.
He's made it interesting.
He has. Bomb down. Tarek still held one before falling. Default, a little bit early. No one there yet to plant the bomb. They're actually just biding their time. And they've got lots of it, still with a minute to play with. However, Breezy is in the money seat. Bomb planted, smoke down. Crim's already looking in this direction. I think Breezy gets found here because that's an awkward smoke to push through, and Crim sees him first. The shin protruded before the rest of the body and before his eyes were able to locate anything on the other side. Ethan gets back in, though, and he's got the deagle. Tries to spam below. No one there. Smoke now favors Crims, but it's gone, and that actually just gives him the access to repeat.
So just to make note, you're going to be, why did Ethan throw that smoke grenade if Breezy was coming from that position? It probably didn't intend to go so deep, and the reason was if they're going to smoke off main, that means that it's highly unlikely someone's flanking. Crims was aware of the potential play. Finishes off the 2-star fraggers from that of NRG. Now, they'll be kept on a straight away. They'll just go for a pistol upgrade. Have 2 smokes. 1 smoke will be used automatically from Daps. They're stacking over towards A here, so they do have this flash to pop one into main. They'll go up close and personal behind the box. JW stands, delivers with 1. Twist will trade out. Not too bad there. Fnatic will be happy they have the number advantage. Twist has control of that AK-47 that's gone down, so they can't use that against them. There is a P250 in Cirque's hands, and the last 3 members of NRG are still over towards the A-bomb site. maybe they thought after that flash push it would lull them into a sense that A is clear, but they know someone has to throw that flash back.
Yeah, where did that come from? It's no phantom.
Yeah, it would have been the flash assist as well on the screen, so you know that
Yeah.
whoever threw the flash is
Still not
close.
in love with that. Tarek's going to block the door here. And if he has luck on his side. Around, Exist fired into it, Tarek gone. Twist. It's Daps, follows onto Cirque, and we're 2-2. Jordan 2-2. For Tarek. All right.
One of the things we noticed...
Double op. Okay, that makes more sense.
One of the things we noticed when we were doing Fnatic on Inferno was that it was like 3 Rock players. You noticed like Exist, Crims, and Broland. They just, you know, kind of locked down their positions while that allowed the double op setup on Fnatic's side of Twist and JW to roam and find impact across the map. On the T side, obviously things are a little bit different, but interesting to see when we pivot over towards that CT side. I'll remind you once again, 16-13, when these two teams went head-to-head on this map earlier in the tournament. More on the line right now because this is an elimination game. This is the semi-final. The winner will go through and face an informed Na'Vi in the grand final tomorrow. Best of 5, so depth in map pool is going to have to be there tomorrow. Default spread right now. Very standard from Fnatic. Crim's babysitting B. JW's been able to get across towards this box position in main. It looks like Exist, Twist, and Broland are going to go for mid control right now. They can flush Daps out of the vents with a Molotov here. Looks like Twist is going to go up and over the boost, and Broland's going to come out main. JW's still here. He might be able to get 2 of them if they keep pushing. If they don't check this position, he's on. He spotted 1, but he hasn't shot.
He'll take the execution when he can because as Ethan changed directions, it was indicative that he wanted to back inside of the site, so why let him get away for no reason? Twist will take out Breezy. Cirque got it through the smoke. Tarek's fast inside mid. You're right, double op's working. Now Tarek trying to re-peek. He missed the second and the third. He's not been traditionally a primary opper, that's for certain. So got the goal to go for the re-peek. A lot of people may not, but he's rotated over smartly, knowing that they were taking the vents while he was peeking, and timing is everything. He gets on top of the site. Smoke's going to go down. They may not expect him to be here, and he makes good on that peek against Twist. Daps falls to Crims inside of the smoke, but the flash helps Tarek. And he's not done yet. Exist has bomb. He could swing around this, though. Smoke's not going to dissolve just yet. If he gets in behind Tarek, it's a free kill, and he knows that Cirque's going to peek back out. He nearly got it inside of the smoke, and Cirque's lucky to be alive. He's even going to bait him in. That's smart. That is why he leads. Only by example that round.
Big brain play right there from Exist. Wasn't able to get it done in the pistol round, but here he's made up for that lapse. Very impressive stuff there, and now NRG once again. So these 1vx situations are the ones that are going to be the details, right? We spoke about the close scorelines previously. They're the difference makers. If it happens throughout the game, we get a very exciting game. And then, you know, maybe they mean less. But Tarek with huge amount of impact there. Felt like he overstayed his welcome in middle, but maybe the extra shots made them think that he couldn't actually rotate over and get into that B-bomb site in time, but he made it with ease. Made that round more than possible for NRG, but it wasn't to be. Right now, will be a save round from NRG again. So what is standard so far is JW towards main and Crims towards the B lobby. It looks like the trifecta towards middle will be Twist, Broland, and Exist. They're going to play off each other. They'll supplement where they feel the need and Exist to make the call. So this is very default style here. Cache, wherever you're from, however you pronounce it. It's one of the maps where it allows so much versatility, and that's maybe one of the reasons that people are going to miss it, because it can be fast, it can be slow, it can be default heavy, it can be execute heavy, mid-rounds, playing the rotations, gamble stacks, aggressive CT maneuvers, retaking territory. It actually has it all.
Ethan already boosted up at slide. But a wide open B site. And I think a round already gone, so 4 in a row. Tarek is outside of the smoke. Might just push through at this point, but Broland saves Crims. Dinged by the USP. And it should finish as it is. Maybe a few more kills to fnatic, if anything. They don't really need to pursue. Certainly not the AKs and the off. Not against pistols, not against armorless opponents with not much to lose. Roland can justify it, given that he has the MAC-10. Doesn't have the range as a result of that, but he's got the AK to support from Exist. And the fight. Not bad. There you go. Roland gets one more than MAC-10. Everybody's down. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. It is more gain for fnatic, I suppose. They get a little bit extra money from that. And we go 4-2, as I mentioned. So it is Op brought out for Twist to go against Cirque. Single Op this time. So far, I think Tarek still has his. No, Og. Okay, so he had 5,700.
How do you feel about the Tarek edition? Because I know you're a supporter of what Fugly was able to achieve as more of an anchor supporter
This map
player.
Especially.
Yeah.
He was incredible
Especially
in the
that
A
fence
side.
position, right? Yeah.
Man, so good at swinging around quad. He was just always there, and he was hard to distill. I think Fugly has a place in the team. I think he's a great team player. The same time with NRG. Oh, I'm going to get back to that. Cirque, he's got JW. He's got another as he swings back around to find Crims and the bomb. Both sides of the red crate. Big steps. Big shots. Roland's got the counter. Reload being done on the ladder. Breezy jumps around and gets on top of Ticket. Ethan from underneath will find the shot, and good positioning on Ticket gives he and Tarek the damage to take down Exist to make it 4-3. Good hold. I think that this team needed a little bit more aggression and certainly the experience from Tarek.
Sure.
We know he has a high skill ceiling. Didn't really get to peak as high as Automatic or Stewie in Cloud9, but in-game led to that major victory.
Sure. Yeah, I think about it in a essence that he's played with, fire-up players before, and Tarek is that kind of guy. He's quite, vocal and animate in his approach, and that might be needed as well for a team like NRG, who previously, the guy who would get the most excited would be Cirque, and he's the import, right? So I think that there's some very skilled individuals on this NRG side. That goes without saying. Ethan and Breezy. It's a list of fantastic youngsters coming out of the North American region. We were begging for it for so long, and now it's just a plethora.
I think the issue being with Fugly on this team is Ethan's very passive, so too the personality. Cirque, he's the opper. He can be aggressive, but also not going to take matters into his own hands round and round again. Breezy's awesome. All over the place. Daps, very passive as an in-game leader. I think Tarek just brings in what they needed with that little bit extra punch. Again, I think Fugly can be a fantastic team player. It just has to be the right composition around him. Socially as well, Tarek's more outgoing. He can bring them out of their shell a bit, maybe.
Yeah, well, they always seem to get along in their little bantery style on the social medias. If you do transit that, as the time is going to tick down to 45 seconds. All 5 players remain on both sides, and as I say that, Tarek grabs one. The man in question will be traded out by JW. It has to be a B hit, but Daps in this forward position. A lot of pressure about to be applied to him. Crims, the lead man, now he's looking the wrong way, will get spammed down. Can Daps do more?
Bit of a wide peek, didn't expect 2 to be there, and it caught him out. Got the damage into Exist, but unfortunately, that was all he got. Roland gets JW. Bombs down and useless. They've got to go back for it. This is a good hold. 19 seconds is pretty much the round, because they've already got the front side of B. All they have to do is slow down the approach, and Twist is going to try and hang on to the AWP with 13 seconds. Breezy passive, but they've got mid from Z, so there's really nowhere to go, and Cirque takes it down. Cirque's 8-6 on the AWP. That's more like it. Because for a while, I considered him the star. Breezy has certainly, I think, filled those shoes, but what an opera he is, and what I always talk about it. What a talent to find. What a chance. They go to Bulgaria and find a guy that's not even on the main Bulgarian team, bring him to North America, and boom, he's a star. Like, incredible. They've gone through a lot of changes. They had ANJ from Denmark for a while as well.
Daps even went to the coaching position for a while.
That's true.
So lots of changes to this roster. For me, looking at them, they have to be the second best North American team now by head and shoulders above the rest, right?
ANJ's one that I think, great guy, really liked hanging out with him in Toronto. I think needs to emerge and step into this,
Danish scene, that's a problem right now, isn't it?
There's
so
so
many
much
names.
talent, and otherwise he goes the way of Maxaki, right? Whatever happened to that guy after he was in North America?
Revolving door occasionally is that continent, and right now, fnatic have been forced down to a long buy. Exist is going to have that AK-47. Has a smoke in hand as well. He needs to find an opening. There are deagles in play, so it's not just on him. Find any heads peeking around corners, maybe they shouldn't. And so the first one up here will get the better of Twist, but through the wall he takes some damage. 64 points of health remaining. Exist knows that position. Cirque shown on the A bomb site. He likes a re-peek, but middle is a different story. He won't be trying to get from here. Breezy next up to the place, yeah.
Yeah, boost up to get the white box, and Broland, though, was ready for it. Breezy, excuse me, was. Broland's next in line. Shot still coming out from the AUG, and Breezy gets 2. Didn't take much damage from it, really. Ethan now holding off fence where Fugly formerly would have been. Or Ethan formerly was. Good shot. Crims on the Deagle. I hold my breath for a moment because Repeat comes back out and Crims still waiting for this, but it was a 1-on-5. It always seems to be a 1-on-5 in those situations. When there's just one pistol, it's pretty much guaranteed that it'll go the way of NRG.
So what have we seen so far from Fnatic on this T side? The default spread, some mid-round aggression getting punished by JW in a, not an unknown position, but maybe for that timing they didn't expect him to be across that far already. We also had a faster round towards that A bomb site where Cirque shut it down. We've had some B executes come in. The pistol round comes to mind. There was also a gun round position where Exist won that 1-on-2 situation and the spam through the smoke to really assist him in that one. Fake plants it, gets it done. Now it's going to be a mid play right now. Breezy up close. They're going to go for the boost over mid. It appears that they want to be getting the man himself. Okay, well, guess who was prepared for that one? Twist on top of the truck. He was more than ready. Big Fragger will be taken out very early. Now let's see how the aggressive approach comes in. I spoke about the information plays for the CT side being available all over the shop, but Twist now, he'll be on another boost. So from the truck to the boost, a secondary kill, and now Daps on the mid roof. Has to get something done. Ethan will find one, but Exist at Squeaky Door can open this and punish him at any point in time. And this could come down to the seconds for Ethan if he wants to find another kill.
He has gone back to a passive position at the truck, which is a retake position, and they've got the Squeaky Door still in the T-side approach, so this Fnatic should be a bomb plant at least. 2 smokes, one of them is going to be used now, so 2 left over. And that also thrown out will cover quad, cover the top of highway. Ethan now knows it's on A, wants to get a little bit closer at the very least. If he can get 1 or 2 kills, still makes the retake possible with Tarek and Daps not yet fully rotating because there hasn't been contact behind the smokes, but I have to say it's a long rotation for Tarek, but Ethan do so. Daps got Broland lurking, unfortunately. Ethan, he was lined up to do so, but couldn't close the kill on to Exist. He sits with 4 HP, and the bomb is planted.
There's a Molotov for Daps right now in a good position to throw that towards quad. Could burn Exist down and now give us a 2v2, but Twist is in a very powerful position with that AWP, and it looks like, well, on Tarek, who's dropping back towards CT spawn, it will be the save call. The AWP in Forklift, as long as you have somebody covering off main, that's a key piece of real estate on this map. Absolutely instrumental in making sure that you can stop the flow of rotation coming in, something that teams will fight for time and time again. And if you're playing your matchmaking games at home, one that you should be trying to hold on to for your team, or at least somebody should be grabbing it. Make sure you put that one towards the top of your priority list. Bomb will detonate. And back we go as now it will be 5 rounds each. Exist leading the way right now for Fnatic. 10 kills to his name. On the other side of things, Broland down the bottom with 4, but we've only had 10 rounds played. Nothing to worry about. Daps, 3 kills for him, and Cirque up the top with 9. So, as we expected, it's close. It's not round for round, but it's still all tied up here as round number 11 is going to get underway. Twist is lining up the AWP spam through.
3-2.
Everyone should be so aware of that right now, obviously. Could always be a problem.
Not found with the old body bag. Oh no. Oh, Exist. Oh. Blinded and running back because he was left alone. They even nade into the gap that they left. That's a pretty clever little setup for Hitman, by the way. Buys them time and space at the very least. They know they can actually take it with a flashbang in afterward, but they know there's also a gap in the Molotovs, and they throw the nades straight into that. So no matter what, they were going to do damage. And Exist perhaps was lucky to get away as he did.
Just look how scary the A-hold for NRG is right now. Breezy, Ethan, and Cirque all over on that bomb site at this point in time. That is the star trio.
Super passive mid, though. And the problem with that is the way they're playing B. Tarek's kind of stuck at the box if they come through the vent. Cirque almost needs to be a little further down highway at this point, but because they've given up so much space, there's not really time to do so.
Tarek did just spot for info right now, and he didn't see anything, but Daps is still staying there.
Well, I'm thinking that if he didn't see any, didn't have any info, why not boost Tarek?
Or even just rotate Daps a little bit more passive. It doesn't matter right now because we can see that Fnatic
or
heading
Tarek
towards
push
this.
through. This works too. He's going to go all the way through B. Daps is on the move as a result.
It's a very late hit. 25 seconds.
I think they might have done themselves in on this. A main, Tarek's already inside the big garage. Daps checks middle, knows it's clear. Everyone in A just played fast and ready to avoid the flash, as I said. Shea Brazy with one, but now the flank comes in. Tarek already with the kill immediately on a Crims, and it's just Twist remaining. He found Ethan. Good find for the AWP, but you're right. 7 seconds, gets it down inside, knows that there's one to his left. If he could have isolated, he might have had the chance.
Yeah, was offered up there. Small window of opportunity, but that push, that play from the B site was the catalyst. It did get very close, only 2 players surviving. NRG have more than enough money in the back pocket to be able to buy. We're over on the other side of things. It looks like fnatic will do the same. They don't have much money to deal with by any means. Crims has a CZ75. Exist is going to have to buy into something. Maybe he'll favor that Deagle again, but JW, Twist, Brolan all with AK-47s. Bit of utility to go with that. Yeah, so Exist will go for the Deagle, head armor. Some nades to work with here. Once again, we're going to see the 3-prong middle hold coming in from that of NRG. Ethan anchoring over towards A and Tarek over towards B. Crims here, if he can sneak on in and take down Tarek, that's a big opening because he will find himself a gun. So X-ray is a little bit misleading. You've actually got Tarek on the other side of that wall, lying in wait. That's an awkward position for an explosion. They're out middle. That will grab one, will be traded.
Rotate back up, make sure he's still clear at the garage. No one was directly inside of the site. No one is there now. Tarek finding Crims.
He just wrecked Crims.
Yeah. It's not bad. This is looking all right for NRG. Overpass, Dust 2.
Yeah, overpass is where we mentioned before that Breezy did some of his best work in this tournament so far. Just reflecting right now because it's a difficult round for fnatic to win. When these teams went toe-to-toe on Coach last time in this event, NRG started on the CT side as well. They were only able to grab 7 rounds on their CT side. They've already done that. Exists in a 1-on-4 situation. Look, I don't like to rule anybody out, but is his name Simple? No.
How do I spell that again?
G-O-D?
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was G-R-E-E-R.
So some other factors from that game, that had 3-1 VX situations, 2 of which went in the favor of NRG. They still lost 16-13. The opening kills went in favor of NRG 15-14. fnatic still won this situation with Crims being the highest rated player, 29 kills to his name, 103 ADR. Exist had the most assists, Twist had the most AWP kills on 19. Breezy had the most first kills with 5. So there's a couple of metrics to keep on looking at as we go forward. So fnatic now, they're taking a tactical pause to talk through their options. This is their choice, remember, and they have been on an upward trajectory in this tournament. They hit, I don't want to say rock bottom by any means, but last year we had a lot of hope in this team going forward. The roster, it was exciting. Brolan and Twist is some big additions. They felt like they would complement the rock performances that Crim seems to bring home every single week. JW, with the sporadic nature of the AWP, it was believed he'd be a little bit more tamed and Twist would take it over, but they've thrown that mantle back and forth several times. And then you add Brolan in, a prodigy, a future of Swedish Counter-Strike, alongside the experience of a player like Exist, who's been doing this at this level since the beginning of CSGO, and obviously a 1.6 player under the fnatic brand as well.
Tarek holding out. JW's checking over toward on A site with the Deagle. Hasn't spotted anyone yet, and won't spot anyone until he commits at this point. Crims likewise won't see Tarek until he goes around the corner because Tarek is not moving. And Daps would see them first. Tarek waiting. I think hear a noise. I think there was a drop sound, so he makes them move to find Crims. Ethan takes JW. That was back over toward A. You can see where he was toward the door. But the Daps set up with Tarek's working wonders. 2 players still in front, bomb as well. So you can forget the lurk for a moment of Brolan. The action on B is more important. 1 burns, 1 gets shot. Tarek finds 3 in the rounds. And Cert closes on Brolan, 8-5. They've won the half, but what does that mean, right? Technically speaking, they'll win more rounds, but it's map dependent on what a win really is.
That's for sure. And I think on a map like Asian, 8-7 is par for the course, right? So if they can post a 10-5, okay, that's impressive, considering last time, as I just mentioned before, they only were able to get 7 on their CT side. So there is a chance for them to extend and get a very decent lead. Let's see if Twist with that AWP can get any more frags. He did have 2 in a previous. He caught Breezy on the reverse boost position and then was able to take down another one when he was able to take a rep himself. Grim's going to get Molotov off, still going to get the kill. That's a very big entry and gets away with his life. A tickle of damage done to him. But with a minute 30 left on the clock now, that gives a lot of room for fnatic to maneuver.
JW still up above. Made another Molotov thrown in his direction. He'll be forced to make a move? Not quite. Didn't cover the backside of the roof. He got there safely. Brolan was already in mid anyway, so he probably could have just dropped down if he wanted to.
Well, Ethan would have heard that running towards the boost. So he knows there's a player outside A main, I'm sure.
Doesn't need to commit. Yeah, doesn't need to commit on that. Brings it back to a 4-on-4. There's no need to walk outside that door and find all of the T's staring at you. Truthfully, he wouldn't have. He would have had just JW up above. Brolan's already inside of the vent, however, and Tarek's down below it. If they start to put pressure from B main at the same time, Tarek's going to be sitting with very little to work with because his teammate, Breezy, is back inside of the site drop in, though he's got a small wall to work with. That's well done from Tarek. Great read. That's why you bring him onto this team. He's capable in those pressure situations of holding his composure. And just Twist and JW left with 29 seconds. Bomb down. They'll still tag. Tarek still holds, and he knows the other one's going to be coming back in from B main. It is Twist on the op, but expecting a flash looked away. That might have blocked him. Tarek makes it. He'll fall eventually. Flash comes in late. Breezy gets the kill.
So last round now of the half, fnatic, the most money on the board is with Crims, who buy straight into the AK and head armor. Twist can do exactly the same. JW, Exist, and Berlin have some tougher decisions to make. What plan to play do they want to go for? Now, Exist is in-game leading. I think we can all look at it and we can say that the way that he plays is to allow his individuals to find space. You know, they haven't built a huge strategic base in terms of pocket strategies that I've been praising with other teams in the tournament. You know, North had some, even they've gone out with some Renegades, and they have always a couple that they can go off. Exist plays to eventually the strengths of his players. They like the mid-rounds. Swedes have always loved the mid-rounds. fnatic in their dominant era, they kind of had very aggressive play with really good mid-round decision-making. NIP always just being able to play the defaults and play off of each other very well. There were patches. Thread as a coach really helped out with some strategic diversity for them, especially on maps like Cage that we're on here. But it's fnatic. It's a whole different bunch. Jumpy behind them as the coach. So we haven't seen too much strategically inspired play right now as Circle pick off the flash of a teammate. Spots one out. There is a player pushed on up to the highway box. Call for a flash. Looks like it wants to be an A play.
Cirque does bring his up a little bit closer. Breezy also gets in behind the forklift. The fact that they've covered off highway, he's just waiting to see what will work its way around. And there's the wide spot, but the boost, Crims spotted him. Unfortunately, could not get the kill. Put him on to 21. And Crims goes down to 54, falling off the stack, but they find kills now. Cirque can't get the shot either. Highway's been given up. In the process, he does at least get that back. Smoke, though, and good read. He knew they were going to wrap quad. The obvious choice is to hide behind the box. Just spray towards. Crims is experienced enough to take care of that. Exist is as well.
Daps with 5 kills to his name. Maybe he'll just try and get some kills and transition his stat pad a little bit, because getting into a 1-on-4 situation on the A bomb side, it's not going to be an easy task. He has no utility to work with, just the AUG in hand. Trained on his position, the former of the fnatic. Now he'll grab one. Not able to do more than that, as Crims will finish him off. So, Vulcan, 9-6 half. All things considered, it was slowish play, right? There was a couple of moments where the speed was picked on up, but it was nothing crazy. It wasn't many clutch situations. It wasn't too much of a back and forth affair. When rounds were won, it was done relatively cleanly. The opening kills got it done. We're going to be moving into the second half right now. This is the last best of 3 of the day. It is semi-final number 1, but it's played second. And the winner of this will go on to join
Semi-final number 2, just to know. We did have the other one in between.
Yeah, but it was...
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, hey, sorry, bracket. So, yes, the first side of the bracket. I see what you mean.
Trying to be funny. Not ha-ha funny, like, listen to this twat funny.
All right, then.
self-deprecating humor. It's the best kind. You get out before the angry mob. That goes back to me sitting at alone at lunch at high school, Matt. But anyway, we're going to get underway. Second half, round number 16. Ethan. Okay, well, 2 players stripped of their HP immediately. JW down to 8, Exist down to 5. This is faster pace.
Twist seems ready for it behind box. That's where Tarek stepped up in the first half. He's going to do the same. He's running low on ammo in that gun. And that gun and his life gone. Brolan at least keeps the advantage on the side of fnatic. In fact, impressively finds Breezy immediately after as well as Tarek goes hunting but leaves himself in the open. Needs to be cognizant of the fact they're going to peek that. And it was from the one area he would not have expected as Brolan had Crims working in from B tunnels behind.
See if NRG go for the force buy right here. Could easily do so. There's no reason they can't get some upgraded pistols. I think with Breezy going into the P250, that's more than enough to let me know that they're going to wait and get the AKs up in the third. Or round number 18, if you want to keep count that way. fnatic, they actually are expecting NRG to be relatively conservative. And you can tell by the buys that teams go for. So if you're expecting a force buy, then you might invest in a few more SMGs. But when you're expecting them to go for rifles, come on, let him milk you away. JW, the only one with an SMG.
Oh, he's got it.
All 5.
Bravo, son. Held his nerve despite that he was flashed, smoked, and wasted a lot of it. I shouldn't say wasted, but couldn't hit as many shots as he would have liked at the start of that. Pistol for the final 2. Ace for him, and money? Yeah, he's got some now.
Yeah, just to finish off that point about that buy, so they bought into 4 rifles in round number 17, assuming they're going to go up against a full eco, and JW was lucky enough to be the one with the only SMG to get all the kills right there. So they get the best of both worlds. Now they can have full nades around it. They don't need to upgrade from their SMGs. They don't need to take a bonus round in the traditional sense of having to do something a little bit more aggressive. They can just hold as if this is a normal gun round and tagged up immediately. JW has been spotted crossing over towards Checkers. Oh, the boost. They played 3. They baited that in. That was fantastic play. What they did was they had JW drop across to Checkers. He was spotted, but meanwhile, Twist and Brolan were boosting to clear out Sunroom. Breezy's going to stay on that line every day of the week so they can see if they can work him out of that position. And he gets punished. So a nice little micro maneuver there from fnatic to kick off round number 18. I like it.
Tarek spraying in. Ethan sliding past the smoke in mid. No one at white box or Z connector.
This round's still definitely possible. There are 3 players on the A bomb site. Ethan's creeping on up. If he cracks the bomb site open with 1 kill, the rotation from B is quite far away.
Good find from Ethan already looking out. So much aggro elsewhere that it was a pretty easy kill. Just had to clear that one final angle. Taps will go for the widest plant possible. Gives them a fantastic opportunity to hold inside of the garage, but they're going to do that actually. Quad position, doubly so, and 1 on highway. The highway player being Cirque. And without any activity toward him, I think they'll safely recognize that this is a save from fnatic, so it will become 10 for NRG. And we'll have our 18th round concluded. They're gonna get there. Not gonna happen, surely.
They also should hold on
catch
to
him.
their guns, right? They don't necessarily need to chase this.
Yeah, they're gonna stop. They're gonna hold out. They haven't spotted him yet. There's no need to overextend.
So considering they were down on a 4-on-5 and I was just singing the praises of fnatic with that nice little micro maneuver, they couldn't hold strong on the A bomb site, and NRG will bounce back with their first rounds in the second half. They've gone up to 10, and for fnatic, they're sitting on 8 rounds, but they will be able to get another buy round on the board here.
Yeah, 9-6-2-1.
JW will get out the AWP on the CT side early. Twist obviously carrying across that AUG. No need for him to upgrade into anything. He can stick with what he's got. Default spread.
He's flashed in, just I thought he was going to actually push on that, which would have been surprising because I think he's now realized that, wait, I only have the Glock.
Has he made it?
Oh, just barely. He was going to go mid. He was committed, and then he went, I don't have a gun. Hang on. Bail.
Is a problem, isn't it?
He did waste it. Well, I should say wait. I guess waste. They did use a flash for that. And it puts them to 1:20 where they're still holding out in defaults. Tarek spotted out from the site. Crosses back over. Ethan's already waiting on the boost. Oh, it's missed. He knows it's missed. He can clear underneath and actually try and peek on this, potentially. If he thinks for some reason, yeah, that they're not going to check it. If maybe they didn't see that they missed it themselves. Take advantage of it. 2 players at least on it, 1 over it. Ethan's gone down toward the white box. Noise on the jump, though. And that smoke's not safety. He could still be counter-peeked here from JW. Exactly that. The Noise gave it away, and JW smartly backs off immediately.
Well, now with 40 seconds left, and it looks like NRG are postured to go A at this point. It doesn't feel like they have enough time to go back. They probably would if they went now, but they're committing to this A hit. They had success before, but that came off Ethan up highway. Tarek finds an opening again.
Grims only for 1. Exist, though, waits inside of the site, and they'll walk around toward him, but Cirque gets the shot to trade off, and now it's his bomb to plant.
Good
Time
plant.
to do so. Tight plant, but open to main again. And ooh, that smoke timer kind of betrayed him a little bit.
Important for him to plant in that situation right there. Oh. Haven't seen that angle of the diffuse before. That was
Almost looks like a radiation kit.
Could be.
Or a stud finder. Those don't work on me.
Oh.
That was my attempt at self-deprecating humor, Chad.
It was like a mixture of tradesman humor.
Yeah, not bad, right?
Yeah, I liked it. All right, Cirque now has the AWP out in response. Let's see what they do to go seeking here. They were able to get mid-control, but you were right. That Noise made and JW hanging around to go for that pick was the real difference maker right there. They're going to boost. Daps can actually get up on the truck. He seems to... Daps. Well, Cirque's gone. Don't worry about it, bro. You really need to work on your movement there.
He's not known for it, I will say that.
Yeah, but it's not hard.
It's not. I'm actually trying to back your point up. It's not an excuse. I wasn't trying to pick on you, Chad.
So they will go down early in a 4v5 situation. It will be Breezy to drop again. He is sitting on 12 kills. It is Tarek leading the way with 19, so his impact is being well and truly felt. But Fnatic are in a very good position right now with just above a minute left on the clock to get 10 rounds, tie this one up yet again. Unless Cirque and that big green or Asimov skin AWP can get something done. So Ethan spotted 2, 1 towards connector, 1 towards highway box. He can relay that information, but nobody's there to help him pick up the slack. It's just kept players honest. Exist has dropped back and gone towards A. JW still lurking around connector. He wants to hang around here. He's not giving up on this.
Deagle again for Ethan this time, no noise. And no one peeking him.
So much territory.
Yeah, JW's going to rotate out of Z. Ethan will have heard that. Won't know which way he's going to go, though, and it will be over toward B. Ethan's just trying to wait. Gets information that there's 2 still coming out of A, so they've got some time to work and try and take down the players in B, but Twist. He waits behind the default box. Nowhere for Daps to go, so he tries to fight his way out. And it's 10-10. Good little half we've got going on here. Good game to start this off. Again, I remind you, Overpass is next.
It's kind of like right now they're playing golf and they're just, everybody's getting par, right? They're hitting the rounds that they should be. But the deeper we go into this game, the hype obviously builds with every situation because 16 rounds, that's what you need. So it's 10-10 right now. Who can put the next few on the board consecutively? What was that?
Cool, that was at B.
So Tarek now up to 21 kills. It's not that we were questioning him in the team. We were just talking about his addition earlier, and it's clearly paying off right now because when Breezy might be lacking a little bit, he stepped on up. That's an opening they can work with.
Shot out from the AWP. Floor's already open. As Breezy fires in, we can see that.
The importance of what Breezy's doing here is not actually going for a kill, but it's making the highway player have to rotate back, and that leaves JW in pressure alone.
Except the boost inside of the site. JW's got to, okay. That's a free one.
Wait.
That's a free one. That's still, it's actually cost them because Tarek gets a kill off of it. It's a 2-on-2.
Through the smoke
can't
anyway.
get a gun in time, and you're right. JW gets that, but he could have left this with 3 players still alive rather than 2. And maybe even prevented the bomb plant as a result of that. So it has consequences.
Look how slow they're going as
I'm
well.
surprised by that. They must not know he's this low on HP.
JW totally just made the boost over mid to get there for this flank really quick. No way Tarek expects him to be there this swiftly.
He only has a deagle. He's looking for an ace.
Oh my god!
JW, good thing he did that movement. What a shot, Tarek. Makes it expensive.
So many highlights today. Movie
Tons.
maker's dream. 11 on the board now for Fnatic. Not an easy 11.
I'll put an edit together on Windows Movie Maker. Throw in some effects.
People have actually kind of missed what we used to have maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah, this has been talked about. The fact that we get instant gratification from the highlights, it takes away from people making the frag movies to bring attention to them.
People make Twitch clips of everything now, right?
Yeah.
So it's great that you can have that immediate, I guess, satisfaction of watching the highlight. It gets the popularity there. But back in the day, you know, you'd have like 5 to 10-minute frag movies of the best players in the world playing at these high-level events. And you'd actually, it's like a summary of the event, right? And it'll come on in, you get live footage.
The other thing that like it takes away from is, I think we're on a computer. We can do that.
Yeah.
With sports, I used to have to get up in the morning and watch the channel.
For the highlights, right?
Sports Center or whatever. Yeah, like, you guys are so spoiled. You don't even pay for this, man.
Free content every day of the week, and you get to watch the most entertaining esport with players who practice hour after hour. Double op setup right now coming out from Fnatic, and over towards B. That duel's been going back and forth for sure. Smoke's going to come out, big gap in it. Twist is going to spot one. The Molotov is going to drop a smoke on it to make sure that they can't continue forward. Molotov in exchange as well, so plenty of grenades to hold this B play, but they are going to execute very quickly here. Broland is up close. He has to go big. Twist has dropped back towards spawn, so when the nades come in, he'll push forward, and Exist has already rotated over as well.
Easy on top of the box, but the flames do extend. Heat rises.
Look at this push A main as well. They're getting cornered off here.
Well, you say that until Ethan gets the kill back on Crims. That might actually encourage them to take the bomb back over.
Oh, they are?
Yep. A push usually means they're getting information and they're rotating the other direction, and they've read this to perfection. The other player's locked inside behind box, and at the vents, this is a long rotation. This is a desperate retake. So Fnatic held on to the last round, but remember, 4 players died. They don't have a lot of cash right now, and NRG just got them off of the A site with 1 single kill. It gives them access back to it as well, and Twist, he'll try to hold off toward the forklift.
They have to save.
Yeah, smoke down. I think that's the right call. I think that they have no choice but to save.
Another one of these situations where 1 kill opens the avenue to a bomb site, and then the save call has to come immediately in. We've seen so much of that today. I would love to go back into the Na'Vi series, especially the opening game versus Ent, and just count how many save rounds in those Train and Inferno games we had. We're seeing more here. It makes sense, right? I'm not saying that you shouldn't save. Of course you should save. They really didn't have an avenue back in. And as you mentioned, the economy system comes into play, and they have to consider the future of that. All 5 members of NRG have gotten well and truly out of dodge. They've backed on off. They're not actually going to extend themselves for kills because their bank isn't sitting too flush either. Bomb will detonate right now. Most players just above that 4K mark. On the other side of things, Fnatic, they will be able to get a buy. Twist can actually drop across a rifle for Crim, so he's brought into Kevlar, can get some nades behind it. So everybody's happy. 2 defuse gets in play. As the delivery man, he's turned from the coffee cleaner to the pizza boy.
Oh my goodness, he's my best friend. He's not wearing our best friend sweaters though.
He didn't want to get food on them, that's why.
Ah, he wants to preserve it. I'm going to frame mine. Thank you, sir. You are really my indeed pimp.
They're doing the B approach again right now. There was just some nades from Ethan thrown over towards A yet again. They've done the similar play though, and Brolin's up close. Twist far, the exact same situation, but this time no aggressive play from main, so that might change the tide of this one.
Tarek unable to get anything done so far, but has the smoke. I thought he might actually have the audacity.
It's follow the leader. They just kind of all walked on in. The smokes and nades came, and then they all walked on back. It's follow Daps. All right, guys, I've got the umbrella. Follow me.
I love those tour groups. Bucharest, they walk through all the time. The one guy just holding up the sign, and everyone's just like in a line.
Sometimes they got their headphones in as well. Because
yes, which is smart because then they don't yell to the group and you get tailgaters, right? You can talk quietly and you have to have the headset to hear him, and then you don't get people like getting a free tour. Cost them a bit of money to invest into it. JW investing into an AWP has worked out well.
The smoke.
Yeah, big time.
How?
Got him a kill. Sometimes it's best not to ask. Ask no questions, hear no lies.
Well, this is isolated duel right here on Broland. He's been spotted.
Yeah. The problem is that Tarek can't pursue this easily. So he can, that's the way to do it. Perfect. I was going to say at least Berlin will have the information, but utility is perfect. He can't push the doorway, right? As soon as he does, he has JW staring him down and a player toward tree, Twist, which is now smoked.
Well, there's a gap.
Is there? I didn't see it.
He could just see there was a very tight gap, but they've crossed to the site now. There's 10 seconds left. They have to plant. Maybe fnatic will swarm. The bomb's down. There's no one else in the site.
It's done. That's it. 4 seconds. It's over. They would have to find 3 kills right now, and they can't do it in desperate. Tarek sets in, and Twist finds that kill in return. 1 from the op.
Wow.
And 1 more for fnatic.
If that's the round to do it.
Not only that, it's because they saved the 4 weapons.
Yeah. That's a frustrating one for NRG to lose. A very frustrating round. I want to give a lot of props right now to JW because he's only got 4 AWP kills to his name. You can see that on your screen right now. But the kills he has actually gotten in mid have been instrumental. That's the impact frags that we talk about. Right now, NRG, they can buy back in. They've got 5 AKs. No AWP for Cirque this time. They felt a bit indecisive in their approach in the last couple. Sure, they went 1 for 1. This game continues to be a seesaw, a back and forth affair. Daps is out middle this time. He's already out to the white box. They've done the simple mid smokes, 1 towards connector, 1 towards highway. Breezy's out mid as well. There's nobody in vent that they have to clear. There's no aggression on the map right now. fnatic are just sitting back and waiting. Brolan in the drip position as the water cascades down in front of him. But by taking mid, what does it mean? It doesn't mean a lot because they don't even want to aggress through that avenue. They've done a deep
rainbow.
They've done a deep highway smoke, so that's going to put them on high alert that it could be a split through connector, but nobody wants to go there at all. It's just going to be a direct approach. So it's all smoke and mirrors over here, but they have to Molotov out this position. Cirque is the only one with a Molotov. Where's he going to throw it? That's the question.
Twist trying to get the shot down, and they actually solve the man behind the box. Brolan 1 for 1. Twist, tons of pressure. Tarek gets behind him. What? How did that just happen? Tarek got behind him, got fully blinded as they tried to flash him off, and he did a 180 and absolutely wrecked him. That might save it. They throw the bomb across for what? That just put it on the ramp, and now Cirque's on his own anyway because he was left in the open. I want to see that from Twist's perspective. Maybe even Tarek's. I just want to see it again.
Maybe you'll be granted with that one. Maybe not.
Wow, okay.
Definitely time for a tactical pause right now for NRG because the blunder of having that late round, having the bomb cross extremely dangerously on his own with no form of cover, the flow-on effect that's being felt right now because NRG just talked through their options and they will go for the buy. Ethan only has a Galil, Tarek only has a CZ, and he's been the impact man for them right now. He's sitting on 25 kills to his name. Ethan's on 18. On the other side of things, JW leading the way with 22 kills. And then you've got Twist on 16. Brolan and Crims are quiet, but they're doing what they need.
Watch this. 1.
Hey.
Tarek didn't even look blind in that animation.
Hey. You know, we've seen a lot of weird missing of each other in transition. Remember the Voldo ones on train?
Yep. Just thinking. I saw a close-up on the big screen, not for this stream, but for the Imbic TV guys. The Brolan was smiling, giggling, looked genuinely excited. Think about him. At his age. Still 16? Or did he just turn 17?
He's 17 now. Maybe that was Sergey.
17 years old, and you get to travel around the world playing video games. His friends are back home doing homework. And he's here in China for a chance to go to the grand final, playing with a team that he would have looked up to forever. How cool is that? Crims only getting, well, actually not even one. It was Exist that got it instead. Breezy burns Crims alive.
Has to be a retake with 2 AWPs.
After, Exist does have 1 AUG though. 2 AUGs.
Oh!
2 AWPs, excuse me, but 2 AUGs, 2 rifles. He's got 3. It's going to be a drop at the end. Brolan still has the M4. A good turnaround from Breezy. Bomb planted. Now they hold it off with a smoke toward the top side highway, and he'll play forklift. 1 angle to cover off. No one on the flank just yet. I take it back. They're already in position. Brolan's crouched down. Breezy thinks he's cleared it. That's huge. Brolan's going to... Oh! Breezy! What a reaction! He thought he cleared it. Brolan had every right to find that kill, and Breezy just absolutely cleans his head off. Twist is gone. Bow out. There's no chance. Even with the kit, and it's going to be 13-12. What? Wow, okay. Daps tries to chase, and Twist was ready for it. Even he gives a sigh of relief for surviving with the op. Not a lot of money on either side. What was that?
The reaction. That's pure reaction.
Yeah, that's like Hiko in human reactions without the luck. He nailed his head.
That is insanity. These two, hard work, grit, determination. This one, what?
And he actually overflicked and that's robotic. I'll take one of his arms, please.
That's a bailout play and a half right there. That's the impact we're looking for the NRG side, as a blunder earlier in the piece felt like it was enough to tilt them off the face of the earth. Well, now that shoe's been put on the other foot. How does fnatic feel going down to that? We get the reaction here in the building. That's 4 kills in the round.
It was a 4-on-2. And they managed to win it. 2-on-4, I should say.
Oh, you love to see it. This is the type of Counter-Strike you enjoy watching. Action-packed.
Long day, but man, oh man.
Hey, look, if it
This'll
delivers
keep
like
you
this,
awake.
yeah, why not? Let's go. We got another series?
Tomorrow, Chad.
Okay.
I can give you one tomorrow.
We'll have a night's rest, will we?
I'll talk to the commissioner and see what we can do.
Okay.
We'll have a night's rest if we avoid Kanyang.
The original esports gangster. Oh, Tarek's stuck. He's going to burn down a lot here. Chunked all the way down to 20 points of health. That was maybe not the correct decision. Well, obviously not the correct decision. Remember, they only really have Twist AWP to work with here. And they're not... Hear me out when I say this. They're not letting him play in the sense of he's not going around and seeking jewels at the moment. He's just in the B-bomb site. They've stacked 3 players over towards the A site. They've done the boost on up and over. So if it is an A hit, they can peer on down and use their pistols to grab 1 or 2 cheeky frags. Tarek low on HP. He kind of just has to stay alive. They've employed Bogdan's Law to get the AWP in his hands. Cirque's taken over the mantle of the AK-47, and they want to go over towards A. But now Twist has had enough time to get in transition. Squeaky opens. 44 seconds left. This is going to get very interesting.
Good shot, Twist. That single op starting it off well. Remember, Tarek's tagged down to 20 from that Molotov. Cirque sees the jump, but that gives Twist more information, and he knows Cirque smart. He knew that was the op. He knew not to give the op another chance. Boost gives, Crims 2. JW's gone. This is working out. 2 kills for Crims. He picks up an AK-47.
They're saving.
From in the corner, they have to. 14 seconds. They can't get into a sight. Single op. They took that long. And Twist, perfectly positioned, it seemed.
Brolan could be here. He could be onto one.
He gets a gun from this as well if he takes down Cirque, who's going to spot it. But that gives fnatic their 14th round.
Yeah.
I don't know. NRG, I think, should have played that more aggressively.
They were so scared about the AWP, but when I was saying, letting Twist work, he didn't need to, because by not showing himself anywhere on the map, NRG didn't actually know where to avoid. So they had to take a blind gamble because they didn't send anybody out as a beacon. I can see 2 Fnatic fans, Matt.
2?
Just here, wearing jerseys, right there.
Yeah, that's right. Parents?
I don't know.
Brolan's parents? That would make sense coming to China at that age. I'd bring my parents with me. Or my parents would definitely probably want to go with me.
Let's send a roaming reporter out there.
They look Swedish, and they are of the adult age.
We've said they look Swedish because they have blonde hair.
And stylish glasses.
Yes.
So probably Swedish.
Okay, so NRG need another miracle again. Breezy's done it for them once. But this time around, he only has a deagle. You don't get too many of those rounds in a game unless you've been friends with a leprechaun for a little while. They're lucky, right?
Yes. You only spot one at either a pot of gold or a 4th silver. Twist. Extinguishing quad, but gets back in the sight. Timing's off. He had a nade in his hand, and it's Breezy that comes around the corner in a breeze. Advantage. Looking for the 13th rounds. In fairness, it seemed that NRG's been in the hot seat for most of this business end, as you would say, but they still can't seem to collect enough the last round, especially with the op. It just seems that there's Fnatic's holding on in some slim way. I don't think they'll be holding on to much this round. Daps gets the 4th kill, and I think JW is wise enough to back off 14-13.
If it continues in this fashion, though, Fnatic win.
Yeah, if they keep taking one round, they're one ahead, right? But the problem is if the economy finally actually does what it should do.
It won't matter now because Twist will have enough to buy, Crims will have enough to buy, Exist will have enough to buy, and that's because they won that bailout round, right? So they invested into free weaponry, so to speak, because they picked up all the guns from the previous situation, where Breezy went on to save. It wasn't Breezy. It was Cirque and Tarek on the AWP, right? So they saved those guns. They brought them through. They made them work. But that also means that it buoyed the economy for fnatic to get another gun round on the board. So this is cool that it is a constant back and forth and nobody really feels out of it at this point as we get to round number 28. So 2 AWPs again. JW Twister wielding them. Circle have it on the other side of things. Brolan has a Deagle in hand. We're on board with Twist as he searches aggressively here. Hasn't really gone for too many B pushes. I guess this time round, oh, it's not Daps. He's asked Ethan to do it. And
yep, it works.
Yeah.
Daps, you're not allowed to do that anymore. Asks Ethan instead, but it works. That's the shot he wanted.
Hey, Daps, what I want you to do after this is go on the server and practice that. Actually, maybe not. You might not need this map again.
That's a good point. Will that truck be there again?
I don't know.
It's a bit of a feature that doesn't really hinder anything. The only thing it does give is, I guess, the T is an angle to hold when you push aiming.
Well, the thing is, I actually, the other day, this is probably not the game to do it either.
Catches out Tarek. Come back to that. Bubblegum and all that. Yeah. Double op. M4A1S, M4A4 for Exist. Crim's the one that's silenced and boosted.
This is dangerous. They have 3 on the side. It is a bit of a gamble stack.
A bit of an interesting reaction because he certainly saw the Molotov come out, had to switch to the incendiary. He's lucky they didn't push on the back of it. But he knew that they would likely be waiting for the reaction. That gave him a few seconds. Ethan has got to highway, though. That boost, like you say, that double stack on the site, if they come around and close on Red Crate and they haven't spotted anything yet, if Ethan gets on their backside, they're going down. There's no way you can react that fast to catch them all. They now know there's a stack. Cirque finds the first.
Ethan died.
Brolan got the shot back. You're right. Ethan actually got caught off. Breezy has to swing it. Brolan's still inside of the smoke, but Cirque found him. He knew he was hiding in there. Low HP, though. It's not done. Twist is on the off, though. If he had a rifle, he could spray into each of them. So close for fnatic, but 14-14. Is that where we are? Or does Twist have other ideas? A kill already in this round. 2 flashes. 2 flashes, but no kit.
He can't scope now. He gives away the position that he's creeping on in. They might think he's saving, though, because he's very silent.
Well, there's no AKs there. He walked over the other op. He doesn't have a rifle he can pick up. There is an M4 down below. He knows now they're behind quad. He's jumped across. Finds one. He's got the pistol. He's got the pistol. He's low. Breezy's low, and he's got the angle. Does he have the time?
No kit.
He doesn't have the kit, but I think he might just barely. Oh, my God, it's going to be close.
He's got it.
Unbelievable. Got the player he needed to with the first shot. Pistol switch, and fnatic find map point on an incredible clutch. He didn't even lose any HP.
How does he get away with that? Look at this.
That's a leaf out of Simple's book. How many clutches have we had today?
This is gnarly stuff here. This is delivering for sure. We're on track for the same scoreline as what we saw when these two teams went toe-to-toe in the Swiss stage. 16-13. Fnatic's map choice again. If you're NRG, you're thinking, how much more do we have to do? How many times do we have to put them in the precipice of breaking them? They get the opening. It's a freebie right there. Twist evens it up.
They are holding on right now. This is like... It's fingertips.
You seen that cat?
It's literally, this is free solo. Alex Arnold is like just fingertips right now. That's Fnatic. What were you going to say, the cat?
Yeah, the cat. It's the poster. Hang in there.
Wow, always lands on its feet too, and Fnatic seems to be doing that.
Alrighty, well, getting underway. Round number 29. Do or die for NRG now. No more chances to go 1 for 1. They've got to post 2 on the board, something that's felt like a bit of an impossible task. They haven't been able to do that at all on their T side. Interestingly enough, just the default spread thus far. They're leading very quickly over towards the A-bomb site. Tarek's left B. They might go for a more assertive approach, be a little bit more quick, not allow the clock to trickle on down. If they go now, they might be able to isolate Exist. Crims is close enough to be able to help with the smoke, and you can see he's leaning over towards middle. But this is it. They pounce. They're gone.
Exist from the fence. Lineup. Chance for a JW, but it's a trade back. Overtime still at stake here. Not a lot of money for Fnatic, and they've lost one further to JW going down at Cirque's hands.
Save?
I don't know. They're already anticipating the flank, but Brolan's going to go around the long way toward the door.
I guess they go for it.
Slow game. He's had a few high-impact kills, but only on 13. It's Twist that needs to clutch again. AWP.
No kid again.
Only the MP9. That's right. No kid again. Good. Molotov behind Fork. No, excuse me. Cirque's on the other side of that. He's inside of the garage. They're not going to be able to force anyone out. Give it a crack. Broland starts it off. Breezy down, 3 peak. That is at least information as to where Daps is, but he's smart, he's wise. He knows where Twist was going to arrive from. We're not done yet. If this goes to overtime, I may start to lean NRG's way.
Finally some impact there from Daps on the scoreboard. That's just got him up to 9 kills. Everybody else in his team, I was going to say everybody's at 20. Ethan's only at 19, but even still, there's 10 kills between him and the next on the squadron. So obviously he's calling the shots. Having an impact there late in this stage, heading us into round number 30, where the chips are definitely down for Fnatic in the literal sense of there's no money to work with. Grims has bought straight in. He's gone with the Deagle. Kevlar, head armor, sorry. Smoke 2 flashes. JW's bought in CZ75, smoke of his own. So with the utility, the smoke's being prioritized here, and it makes a lot of sense. Not just for the reason of slowing down choke points, but for the pistols playing around the smokes. Almost designed for those Ranger fights, so this is it. What approach will NRG go for here when you have a situation where you know you are on top money-wise? There's not a lot of answers. You can default spread and wait for the push, but if you go late, you put the pressure on yourself against the pistols. With the clock ready to... Oh, lots of damage done there to JW. He was up close. There's 3 men pushing B right now, and Tarek knows he's actually seen this aggressive smoke come in. He's going to call that. JW, that's an interesting play right there. Trying to take advantage of Tarek spamming towards Twist's position, who's in Sunroom now. They still have to deal with him if they ever want to go back towards B.
6 HP, though, at useless. And you're right, if they head back that direction, and the fact that he's so far forward, Twist could catch him off. He's in between the 2 doors. If he could get further up toward T-spawn, if he could pass that second doorway, it's actually even more powerful because you're not in a position where even if they walk in there, they're probably not going to check it. Unless they're running up smokes, they happen to look left. Exist up close, trying to hold off mid, having lost JW already. Waiting for the boost. Double Molotov, now knows they're up there, waiting for the counter peek. The Molotov thrown his way by his teammates, going to spill onto him. That forces him to move across. Didn't really work out for him. Here we go, see, searching for Twist. Daps, I think he has a hunch. I don't think Daps is fooled that easily. He knows that they've given up position. He's already read that they've had 2 aggressive players. Twist should be the 3rd, and exactly that. Daps isn't foolish. He even baits that they've run by and is staring backwards at it the whole time. So I think we've got extra innings.
I said as we were going up the lift after the end of the last game, I said, we had exciting games, you know, back and forth, close matches. We had the clutches. It's been an insane day. But you know what we haven't had yet? Overtime.
Well, now we've got one.
Well, definitely delivering here. Tomorrow we do have the best of 5 grand finals, so there's a lot to fight for. This tournament has a $500,000 prize pool. It's crazy to think in 2019, teams number 1 and number 2 in the world
are not even
skip an event with a $500,000 prize pool.
Yeah.
But that makes me happy in a way that the money isn't everything, but it would be fantastic to see them
That's a
here.
lie. Money's everything, Chad.
Yeah, I guess.
Don't lie to me.
Yeah, you're right.
No, it is. I mean, you're right. It's a great industry to be in right now. I think we're very stable. We may not have. There's been other games that have come out, Fortnite, Overwatch, PUBG, that have taken some of the the novelty away. But kind of like StarCraft, only on a much bigger scale, we're starting to stabilize, and by stabilizing, we are able to figure out exactly where we exist as. You're pointing at something.
There was a guy that was asleep. I wanted to point that out to you because it was quite hilarious.
Well, it's been a long day for everyone, I'm sure. But we're starting to figure out exactly what our numbers are, the true numbers. Sure, I'm sure it's still transient. There's a lot of people that have come in now that maybe don't even know my beginning, which is relatively recent. Some of these history stories of Taz and Neo, they weren't around to see the VP domination. That's how new some of our fan base is. And
true.
But we're equalized, and that's great for sales. That's great for ticketing. That's great for expectations. It gives you something you can bank on rather than say, hey, well, we're growing, throw a big event, and all of a sudden the growing stops and you oversell yourself. So it's actually good from a business point of view to neutralize for a little bit. And now we can build on that organically rather than just on the hype.
That's for sure. As we get into the first round of overtime here, Braille and Exist have gone for a very up-close and personal crossfire towards middle, but so far NRG have been very thorough with their Molotov use to clearing out these positions. I think that NRG have looked more dangerous, more threatening with their T side than that of Fnatic. Fnatic was very default spready. NRG have had a few more ideas, even though it still has been just the basics still, nothing crazy meta changing.
Oh, wow. That man just got set on fire. He reacted fast, though, Broland, didn't he?
Doing some Tony Robertson firewalking right there, but Ethan will get the better of that, and they must expect another player because of that smoke extinguished earlier.
The one thing I will say is I led toward NRG.
Wait, hold up. This can't be live. 2 players just dropped from the server.
I was going to... I thought
They're going to have
right.
to. They're going to have to cancel this and get this back underway. So they'll probably play this round out as if it is live.
Hang on. Exactly, because this will have to be a dispute through admin. The reason being is that there's under a minute, excuse me, and there was damage dealt. So, okay, I'm with you. 2 players dropped that weren't involved.
I don't want to talk to the rules here. I don't know them, but
we're getting into a moral implication on that, but they have to play it out, because if they don't play it out, then there's no choice.
Yeah. Lucky it is the first round of overtime right here, so we don't necessarily need to cast through this or anything crazy, but I would say a pause will come in, they'll discuss with the admin, and it is highly likely that they will restart that round. I know damage was already done, but 2 players dropped.
The freeze time's still going. I'm not seeing any panic in the booth.
Okay, so they're just talking about it now.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
They got no user logons there, so they're going to talk about it. Yeah. Everyone needs to calm down a bit. I can see the typing. Daps just needs to take a deep breath. It's all going to be fine, buddy. Let me tell you.
And we could see it, but it was actually well contained in the booth. No one was panicking. No one was freaking out looking for the admins. They just turned around and they're being very calm.
Yeah, they've spoken about it. It appears that they're going to restart. JW said that they agree to restart. That's obviously the situation that nobody wants. And because it isn't in the flow of the regular game, so normally when it happens, the implications of players dropping out affects the entire economy. In this situation, because first round of overtime, it's like not a big deal, right? It's like, let's just restart it. We already started with the clean slate of overtime. We'll get back into it. NRG will be disappointed because they found the opening kill.
Sure.
But
I was going to go the other way, though, and I was just starting to lead into the theory of it. And I was saying that if we went to overtime, I was leading toward NRG because then we're back on level footing. They're not chasing a fnatic that's clutching at straws. But they also have full money to start, so they can get more utility and actually stabilize, perhaps, in their defense, which kind of was an issue. We certainly saw it at the last round, round 29 it was. They didn't have guns at all. But maybe fnatic can also benefit from this. So it is just, back to square one.
All right, so close your eyes, take a deep breath, get Will Smith there to, what's it called?
Get you jiggy with it.
Nah, the thing that he does in Men in Black to get rid of your memory.
Flash your memory,
yeah. Either way, pretend that happened, pretend my...
Get you jiggy with it. As if that's my answer.
All right. Okay, this time round, Broland's going to play the same position. He was quite lucky to survive there last time, but he's happy to go back and try his luck again. So this will be the first round of overtime officially. Just a default spread right now from NRG. Tarek passive towards Sunroom. Daps and Cirque covering off. Well, Daps towards mid, Ethan towards the booth, Cirque towards main. Nades are coming out now. They're going to boost on over. Looks like they want to accelerate this approach. Broland's got a lot to do here. Oh, ticked him. They've heard it.
Yeah, there you go. They have to on that. And Broland's gone. He tried to be sneaky. It didn't work out. He's been very aggressive in mid. All of fnatic has, really, as of late. Krim still has locker control.
Yeah, which means if they want to go back towards B, Exist can cheat on over towards that side of the map to help out Twist, who's currently rooted down in the back of the site.
I don't know that I like the idea of him throwing that smoke. I think you just sit there. Cirque's got JW down, and he is just going to sit there.
But Crims.
Cirque's going to... Oh, yes. Oh,
he doesn't need to shoot. He can
doesn't
wait.
Need to do anything. Silence. That 4-2 in the front of him. Bomb goes down. He's got this level, I say, until Ethan finds Exist. Now he's going to wrap around. Smoke was not used. He could smoke himself in there, and he'll do that now. He can actually evade. He can get behind the...
Oh, he's stuck.
He stayed at the box. I think if he had a smoked off A main, knowing that they wrapped highway, he might have had a better chance to hold inside of the hall. Ethan's grabbed the bomb with 11 seconds, though. He gets across. He can plant. He can plant and he will. Twist can't do anything with it. He's got the AUG to move up close. Diffuser in his hand, but no utility that could have pushed him off of default. He's gotten behind him, though. Back shows. He gives his position away. Ethan will make the next move. Twist was hoping it would be back in that direction, but he's gotten to quad, and Twist once again wins it out. Thank you for the AK, and fnatic with 16.
It doesn't end here, does it? Back and forth. You know, we talk about roller coasters of games. This one is definitely one of those situations. Another 1vx situation. Bloody Nora. All right, well, fnatic stay alive this time round off the heroics of Crims here, getting the highlights. That's 3 massive kills. He did a lion's share of work right there after Broland got isolated in middle and was dropped with ease. They even found the second, but just the oversight, the lazy clear, maybe they're not expecting. Obviously, they're not expecting of Crimson's position. That'll punish out NRG in this situation. An aggressive middle. Ethan has the AWP. He's going to drop that back over to Cirque. Won't land the shot, but at least he gave him a chance to find the opening. So that wasn't an issue of the late round situation. Obviously, the clock meant that they had to make some decisions that they probably wouldn't. It was just the oversight of that locker position and Crims staying dead. I was going to say in the last round, holding on to the trigger discipline, but he's going to fall. He'll be the first scalp that Cirque takes in this round.
Flash back to the smoke for Twist at B main. That'll give Broland the peek. He makes no mistake on the first one. Smokes himself off. Didn't go for the repeat. I thought he might do against Breezy. But he still holds the position. In fact, doesn't leave with that smoke there, which is misleading. Could convince them he has, which, to be fair, he does now. Box play. Split vent. Broland comes back into the picture. Caught in transition. I think he's really got to stick to his guns in some of these situations and bunker down. Twist. Use the box as coverage. Bomb down. Finds the first one flashed. Brilliantly so as Breezy gets the kill back. JW has to work back around. Default throw from the Molotov. But they're not planting there. They're going to plant frontside site. I thought with the smoke as it was, Breezy would just try and hold that, but he waits for the Molotov to go by instead. Probably the smarter decision, or is it? Second one. Bomb's going to be confirmed on that. But it's going to weaken Breezy and force him to the left. That doesn't matter if you hit a shot. As crisp as that on the AK-47. Exist falls, JW, nothing to do. No argument to be had.
He should go for this, right? They have enough money.
Yeah, sure, it's 16K. Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah. Breezy is on it.
He must have been on the box.
16.
The only way he gets into that angle is he must have been on the box, having a angle peering on in. You can see here, well, you can't see, I can see, that the scores, nobody's skyrocketing to anything insane right now on either side. It's been a relative team effort. It's been, because of the trading nature, the back and forth affair, fnatic don't have as many kills on the board. They have gone for a few more saves. But on the side of things for NRG, you know, it seems very one for one. Sure, there's heroic, sure, there's players who step up with multi-kills in a round, and this time, that grenade's going to land, and chunking on down Ethan, who's getting in the smoke. It's a contact play to B. They've pushed on through. The flash has come in. Broland, this time, he gets 2 big kills.
It's better. I want to see more aggression out of him for multi-kills. I think in some situations, no, it didn't bounce right. In some situations, he's a little too passive after finding one. So doubling up this time, he gives them the advantage. Flashback toward Tree. Cirque will follow that with a double, a nade, and just gets across using those particles, forcing the player off the angle, and a bomb plant as a result. Who gets round 17? That's the question. Has there been consecutive rounds won at any juncture recently? I think the last 2 of the half, maybe?
Yeah, NRG needs to string 2 together to get us to this position.
Daps needs to string 2 kills together. You know there's one heaven. That's not any indication that gun barrel. That was obvious beforehand, but it's Daps that's been pushed off. Cirque, who pushes JW back in, and Exist is in the open. This is when Daps needs to get back in position. Smart play from Exist to immediately peek it.
He's low.
Molotov's going to put him off. Molotov's going to put him off, and he's got a kid. He can't run through that. Daps can't run through that. He's going to die. Oh, Exist. He's brained on him. That is incredible. What a read. Oh, man. And credit to Daps for just saying, I'll risk it. What else can he do?
This is some fantastic Counter-Strike that we are seeing today.
You can't fool Exist.
Daps did everything right.
That's good communication as well, by the way. For him to know that he was low, maybe he didn't. Maybe he just thought, oh, I'll hold him off and get some damage out of him.
Just a bit of back and forth in the server right now. So the scoreboard is counting up, and JW goes 32-31. Is it seeing the future? And Tarek goes, I hope not. Alrighty, well.
This is a day of clutches.
Think about the 3 maps that these 2 teams have played against each other now. This one's not concluded yet, but it was 16-13 last time on Cage. The second map went to, I think it was 19-17 on Nuke. And now we're at 17-16 in the favor of fnatic. They've been able to wrangle that back. Obviously, they had 15 rounds in the first half, and it was NRG that were the ones that had to mount the comeback to get us here. But surely, You can definitely see some nerves with the youngster of Brolin, and in interviews there was discussions where teammates of his said, he put a lot of pressure on himself to be the key factor to victory for this team. He's the youngster. He's coming in. He's not meant to be, getting it done immediately. It's a work in progress. You take a gamble on one of these players, you invest a lot into them, and you shape them to what you need them to be, and Brolin has the potential. That's for sure. There's no doubt about that. He's shown it. He's had the sparks of brilliance. As long as he gets the support of his teammates backing him up. We're just having a couple of issues right now because of the problem with the players dropping out. So we should be back underway momentarily. Same deal. There's not too many problems with overtime. 16K start money it appears that we're running with here at StarSeries. They are just going to restart to get us going. And here we go. Footsteps away. Should be back in the game. I can hear the knives. I can see the pulling out. I can hear jumping around. It's not live just yet. All right, never mind. I think they're just trying to get everything squared away. This is a marathon. It's quite late here. Local time, it is 7 minutes to 10. Our shuttle was at 10.
Spa's closed.
You could still get a massage until 2, right?
I couldn't be more comfortable than this sweater, though. I'm not going to lie. What a beauty buy this
You're really
was.
happy with it, huh?
Yeah, I've got 2 lovely men standing beside me on it. How could I not be? Taking this one home.
Each their own, I suppose.
One for the ages.
Memorabilia. Do you think anyone would be offended if I take a bite of this pizza? It's just been staring me in the face for the last 30 minutes.
I was wondering which one of us would crack first, right? We're just sitting here smelling it wafting over us.
Slowly
having
getting
not
cold.
eaten in about 7 hours or 8 hours. Yeah, that's all right. I can. You go if you want to take the headset off.
No. We're going to stick
dive
this
in.
one through. Because then when I scoff it down after, it'll be
twice as good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of teasing yourself one bite at a time, that could just make things absolutely awful.
Plus, I don't want to spit pizza everywhere when an insane clutch goes down because we've already seen a multitude of those coming on in.
Pimp knew what he was doing. He actually was like, "Oh, I'll just go."
Yeah, he was teasing
taunt
us.
them.
That was not very nice.
Would have been worse if he just sat here and ate his while looking at us.
Looked at us in the eyes. There's still some fans who are here. Like, this has been a very long day for everybody, right? There's a couple of side activities going around here that they've been keeping themselves entertained with. There's merch being sold. There's obviously Zowie, one of the main sponsors. You can check out all their stuff. But there's still a legion of fans who are stuck on through. A couple who look like partners who are sleeping on shoulders right now.
Jealous. Envious.
They're not here.
Nice. Nice. Nailed it, bro.
Just a few seconds, the admin says. So I'm telling you what we can see. They need to swap it over. fnatic needs to be on that CT side. Wait, or do they?
Exist, absolutely.
No, they need to be on the T side.
Foolish.
fnatic should be.
1v2.
Yeah, okay. They were just worried about the names at the top. I misunderstood the sentiment there because obviously we saw Exist win that last round with the Molotov that he dropped and Daps was too low on HP to push through it. Like, what can Daps do there? There's honestly nothing. The poor guy, you know. Outplayed. Such a nice feeling when you win a clutch like that. Well, the buys have come in, so if they're going to stick with these, I can tell you at least what we're working with is.
Sure. Yeah, we're not in the house audio, so we don't even have to risk that.
So there's double ops. There's all Crim's a little bit tired there.
So you want to go back to the point I was saying? Imagine Na'Vi played the morning game and now this one. That's
Yeah,
why you want to play
exactly.
back-to-back.
Exactly. That might become a standard, I think, going forward. If teams, you know, if you give them the option, because certain teams might want to try certain different approaches, but at least in this occasion it seems to work out. Obviously, we're at GMT +8 right now. For a lot of the Europeans, the time zone at home, CET, is almost 4 p.m. So it's not a huge time difference. Obviously, for the North Americans, it can be pretty wild. You've obviously got the Pacific time and the Eastern time. Central as well. It's a big country.
It is.
Lots of
I
different time
think
zones.
it's the third biggest land country. I think it's the third biggest country.
By mass?
Land mass. Do you know the first two?
China and India.
I'm talking about China. What did you say? East? Oh, you were talking European.
No, I was talking about America.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were still talking about China. My bad. I think China's number 4. Brazil might be bigger. It's Russia and Canada is 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Canada, you guys do surprisingly have a lot of
It's
real
taller than
estate.
it is wide, and it's already huge. It's already twice as, well, not twice. A third is more wide than the
There's
US.
that true size website because globes and maps, they don't actually. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, we don't need to get stuck in that. We need to get stuck in this game. So we're getting underway here. Double orbs are coming out. We saw this in the early stages of the first half. That feels like a lifetime ago where Tarek was wielding the secondary ult. Well, this time around with 16k, he can do it again. 4 defuse kits on the board. No head armor has been purchased on into for 3 of the members. And fnatic just want to go for their default spread. Crims over towards the B-bomb site, throwing his default grenades. But one of the interesting things to note is fnatic have 4 players ready to pounce on A at any moment, which Ethan's currently on an island. The rotation from Highway, it's close. But is it close enough? Nade's going to come out, and here they go, they pounce.
Ethan couldn't see the first 2. And Twist just hit an absolute stellar shot. He couldn't see the first 2. He jumps across. The boost was in position, and he checks that? That crosshair placement must have been amazing from Twist. Roland gets the bomb down. Breezy does get Crims back, but it's a 3-on-3 post plant with smokes in play. Tarek's going to back all the way down the CT ramp to try and line one up, exactly, to try and isolate the positioning, but Twist is still holding off by the forklift. Jump across, jump into him. Tarek gone.
Such a difficult position to clear, and the orb can just stay stoic. He can get more done. The Molotov, it didn't go far enough. It hit the wall, so that's a blunder. Daps will go down from behind it.
Roland, Breezy rather. Oh, he might pull his back. Twist goes down. Roland, just by existing, will take him out, and you're right. Low HP, he gets him. These shots from Twist. Okay, the Tarek one was easy. He jumped out, but the shot toward Truck, and more importantly, the entry shot above the red crate. He is on fire this map. Exist is dead focused, by the way. Don't think he's broken eyesight with his monitor for a while. And fnatic finally have a 2-round lead. They could wrap it up right now.
Yeah, let's see if they change up the approach again, because that was more direct. Obviously, on their T sides, we were talking about how default heavy it was. Now we're trying to string out and find a bit of room, but now they're to be accelerating their approach. And now it looks like they want to do the same thing as they just did over towards A, but this time over towards B. And Tarek, this is a very interesting position with the orb. Flash is going to come on in from the teammates. Lots of grenades over towards Checkers, and he's been able to dodge all of that damage. There we go. Tarek onto Crims. That's an interesting duel that we've been seeing throughout, but he's stuck in that position. He's able to get out. He has been allowed that luxury. As 1 kill over towards B is going to force fnatic to make the decision back towards the A-bomb site. But guess what? 3 players lying in wait. They don't need to do this. NRG don't need to go for info here. Looks it on the end. 1-for-1. Molotov to slow it. Still a minute left on the clock. There's a lot of wiggle room for fnatic still. I know they're down a man, but 1 kill and they could be on the site.
Cirque just waiting to see who will peek next, but doesn't see much yet.
Why? What?
I think he wanted to shut the door. I think he wanted to try and get forward to the smoke, and Exist read that far too perfectly. Now it's back to a 3-on-3 again. This is map point for fnatic. Exist in his reads. He and Twist have class of the field. W waiting to go up and over. Flashed off, unfortunately, means he has to drop back down. He's been spotted as well, so he can't use that to his surprise. And Breezy might know he was there. Certainly knew he was there. 5 HP. I think they've done enough to make this 18-17. They'll get one more crack at map point.
Take a deep breath, because this is still only map number 1. We have a long way to go, ladies and gentlemen. Map number 2, selected by that of NRG, will be overpassed. We're going there regardless. You can see the frags on the screen right now. Tarek leading the way on 30, 29 for Breezy, 26 for Cirque, 24 for Ethan. Taps on 13. Going in the ascending order on the side, 19 for Crims, 20 for Broland, 22 for Exist, 24 for JW, and 27 for Twist. So think about a lot of these rounds. There's been so many clutch scenarios, and we're being treated to it time and time again. Twist has taken the AWP over towards B. Tarek is still rocking the double AWP situation. Now it appears to just have gone back to the standard default spread. Crims does this at his own pace, and he does it well. Flash will come in, he doesn't panic. He's walked all the way into Checkers here. Almost behind enemy lines.
touching each other almost. At the front of the B site, Daps inside of the L corner.
I'm not going to lie, he's not the man you want in this position, especially with Crims on the other side, because if he makes one move in the wrong direction, he's going to get his head absolutely ripped on off. This JW, we can see on the split screen here, has pushed all the way out to middle. Just on the other side of that is Breezy. Oh, JW with a fade away onto Ethan. Now he's back off. It's going to be B. There's Daps. Takes one, but he's isolated now.
He is, but he's got Tarek. Oh, for support, Tarek had to hit the shot. Tarek had to hit the shot because Crims will follow it. Twist has it as well. It's map point for Fnatic. It's all on Crims. Cirque wraps back in. Bomb gets planted. JW moves off the site. Twist is staring at it. They all are. He doesn't want to throw a nade if they're already spamming it because that confirms that he's there and that'll bring more bullets his way. Flash 1, flash 2. Jump and hope for the best. Smoke lands out toward B main, and he lined it up, but Crims has the shot, and Fnatic has map 1. Finally, I dare say.
Whoa, that one definitely delivered. We set this one up that it could be a barn burner that could go all the way with the first map. It definitely did that. Clutch after clutch, round after round, back and forth affair. More like a tennis match than a game of Counter-Strike, but probably more exciting. I'm a little bit biased in that regard, and Fnatic are going to be happy to get through in that one, but this is going to be close. The next map, Overpass, we move on to that. It is the choice of NRG.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing, is that this was Fnatic's choice, and that's how close it was.
Yeah, so it means that teams, once again, have similar map pools when they meet on up. There's so many things for the Deaths to break down in that scenario. I don't even know where you begin, right? If you talk through all the different clutch scenarios, they're the pivot rounds. Maybe if you look at just the numbers of who won most of those clutch rounds, if they came out on top, entry frags is an interesting factor because there's lots of trades as well.
Yep.
So the numbers, it's not a clear-cut game by any means.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. We're going to take a break, join the desk again, and be back for Overpass. This is a series that I think is way closer. We knew it was going to be unpredictable, but way closer and more exciting than I was even expecting. We'll be right back.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Case. Big update and new features in the case battles. Updated and convenient interface with new options. Up to 4 users can participate in one battle now. Create and customize your battles, any number and any type of cases. Choose the number of participants and invite your friends with a unique link. Watch the best drop and win everything. Don't miss epic battles on Hellcase.
Place your bets at gg.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at gg.bet.
They say life is a marathon, not a sprint, but after 36 rounds of Counter-Strike, I am beginning to question that. that was an endurance test to be noted. And in fact, I've got some guys who have endured that as well, and I'd really love to know what Jacob Pimp Vinicky is thinking right now.
I think this was a way too close game, closer than it potentially should have been. I think Fnatic picking into cash should be more prepared and should come out looking stronger against an NRG that are not known exactly to be strong on the map of cash. That said though, it was a very cool game. Both teams played well. We got to see some of the individuals that we talked about show up. This guy on your screen right here exists. He was very, very influential in this game. He had a good pistol round as we just saw. He had 2 or 3 clutches which made them all win rounds for the sake of Fnatic. So overall, as much as we talk about this guy maybe not showing up as an individual, this game he was super, super influential.
Oh yeah, he really was. And I mean, obviously we point out when someone is or showing weaknesses, he definitely stepped up to the occasion for this game. Now, we talk about cash and how Fnatic should have closed it easier. I think that's kind of a consequence of how the map is at the moment. You know, the tactical aspect of it has plateaued. No one really has, you know, revolutionized the meta for a longer time. So when teams go head to head with like individuals with an average same level, then it can happen that even if it's your pick, it's going to be a close map. It's going to come down to clutches, overtime as we see here. But all things considered, it's not so bad for NRG, right? They did a good showing. Now they're going to go on to their map that they feel comfortable on. They have the tactics for them. So we might go for 3 maps, my friend.
So let me just backtrack a little bit, because what you're telling me, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that when we get to this overtime situation, not only are we looking at a map for the strategic aspect plateauing, but perhaps within these 2 teams in this matchup. I mean, we're looking down to the 1vx, the 2vx, just to seal the deal, just to get them in and out.
It's becoming a little bit of a roulette game, I would say. You know, a little bit of a gamble of what kind of stretch you call in the OT. As said, it is a map that has plateaued for a long, long time. It doesn't vary a lot of strategical different approaches. You have sort of like 1 or 2 ways of playing it, very aggressive or very slow on the T side, and that's about it. And when you get into an overtime, it's all about winning these close quarter scenarios. And I would just say that, you know, both teams could have won this one. It was super, super tense, super, super close, even though Crimps, you know, tried his very best in the first round of overtime to clinch it out. I feel, you know, that NRG had chances of winning this, but in the end, I think the better team were Fnatic.
Absolutely had chances of winning this, and I guess doing it well earlier than it coming down to an overtime.
Obviously they would have liked to take that map, but I think it's a map that fits Fnatic's motto for victory in general, which is basically they're not going to have the freshest tactics or the coolest moves, but they plan on like making individual differences here and there, just take the better shot, take the better movement, maybe win this 3v3, 2v2. So here they did. Now the problem is, on Overpass, this doesn't have that much impact, right? You can't just bank on the fact that you're going to trade kills left and right and you're going to create a 3v3. If you don't have the procedures to take areas, you're going to get punished.
So you say Overpass, it's almost as if that's the next map on the cards.
Would that be?
My goodness. Maniac, you've done it. You've broken the enigma. You have cracked the code. And Jacob, we can talk about numbers until we're blue in the face, but the reality is this. We're going to Overpass, buddy.
We're going to Overpass, a map that NRG are notoriously known for being very strong on. That said, though, it hasn't been looking as solid ever since Tarek was part of this lineup. One of the strongest maps for NRG was Overpass, and one of the strongest assets to this Overpass strength was Fugly. He was playing super, super well, especially on the CT side, always being assertive, always backing up Zerg on that A-bomb side, making sure that he could get the AWP kills, making sure that he could be the influential playmaker on this map. With Tarek, though, they changed the positions, they changed the way they play the map of Overpass, and I feel it's not as strong as it used to be. It may or may not take some time before we get back to that level. That said, though, they're still very strong on the map of Overpass, and Fnatic is going to have a very tough time beating them on this one.
Well, in terms of a firepower upgrade, for sure, Tarek over Fugly.
Oh, definitely. I mean, he's shown it in the game. He was good. Let's see what you did there. But what matters, I mean, what worries me, sorry, is that what we've seen from NRG against Vitality on this Overpass specifically is that they could get to very advantageous situations, but they sometimes would throw it away. And that is uncharacteristic for a team like that. Usually I would praise them for their ability to close these rounds. So they would get the open frag, they would get the good clutch, the good situation, but I would see mistakes left and right, maybe uncoordinated movements. That would be a 5v4, a player would push monster, not be ready for his teammate. So if they do that against Fnatic, they're going to allow them, the individuals to show and basically take back what's theirs.
Yeah, and well, for everything considered, it's going to be about controlling the money game. I feel like that's going to be a big part of it. We can talk about who's controlled what on this map, but it's a pretty obvious picture painted in front of you. A 25% win rate in the last 3 months for that Fnatic on the map of Overpass.
really isn't pretty to watch, is it? I mean, I lost to G2, I lost to Wendigo, I lost to Movie Star Riders, I lost to NIP. Yeah, you could argue that some of those teams are great on Overpass, but overall, if you're a team of Fnatic's caliber, a team that aims to get back within that top 8 spot in the world, you should be able to consistently beat these types of team, even on a map like Overpass. This doesn't suit them well.
I mean, if we're looking for silver linings, no, the viewers don't see anymore. But the teams on the left side were not that crazy teams either. You know, there was a lot of green, which means a lot of victory. But team against Inns, Furia, a little bit, you know, lesser known opponents. So definitely not the NRG that made a name for themselves on Overpass.
A little bit of green, a little bit of money, a little CS dot money. That is what's on the cards for you. An official sponsor of StarSeries Season 7, so make sure you check them out if you get the chance, which you should have, because we're going to go into a quick break, and when we come back, we do have the second map of this series. Can Fnatic close it out, or will NRG take us to 3? Stick around. We'll figure it out.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
I'll take that. Yes. Hells yes. Armed and dangerous. Oh, hell yes.
Hellcase. Big update and new features in the case battles. Updated and convenient interface with new options. Up to 4 users can participate in one battle now. Create and customize your battles, any number and any type of cases. Choose the number of participants and invite your friends with a unique link. Watch the best drop and win everything. Don't miss epic battles on Hellcase.